free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
Why do so many companies count on Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating? Consistent high level of quality, an ISO certified and A2LA accredited heat treating, electroplating, fastener sorting, and packaging job shop. Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating meets and exceeds client specifications. Whether a high volume or a small production run, their processes ensure a job well done. Celebrating their 15th anniversary this year, they specialize in metal fasteners and stampings for automotive and other industries. And with a newly expanded sorting department, there are many sorting and packaging options to meet your needs. Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating serves customers in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Tennessee, with easy access to all forms of transportation from an automated facility in Riverdale, Illinois, just 15 minutes southwest of Chicago. Want consistent quality? Call Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating, 708-849-2050, or visit RiverdalePHT.com.
Taking a look at the roads from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
Well, we've already got an accident on the Kennedy outbound at Addison, and this crash is blocking the left lane this morning from downtown out to O'Hare. 25 minutes, only 22 minutes if you're headed inbound on the Kennedy. I-80-94 westbound just before Broadway, a collision that is in the left lane at Fullerton. You've got crews there a couple of hours now. Road work overnight, that is getting lifted with those ramps reopening within the next 10 minutes. Traffic is a service of almostfreeteeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants, it's over. If you have medical PPO insurance, you can find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify at almostfreeteeth.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next, but now check your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Windy with rain and some snow late tonight. Little or no accumulation. Rumble of thunder. High 50, but temps sliding into the 30s. Windy and cold. Flurries tonight. Low 26. And then sunny, breezy day tomorrow. The high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Maha starts with Virago, making America healthy again. With the worst flu season in years, you need an immune system boost. The stronger your immune system, the stronger your body fights and defends against So get Virago. Virago Immune Enhancement Support is a unique blend of 23 nutraceuticals, ingredients that have been available as individual nutraceuticals, but now working in synergy to maximize their effects. Recommended by medical physicians, dentists, and other healthcare professionals, Virago is the nutraceutical cocktail for immune support. Developed to strengthen your immune system for quick response to immune challenges, for short and long-term immunity, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It even protects your heart, kidneys, liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Order online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Quality ingredients for optimum health. Maha, making America healthy again starts with Virago.
Chicagoland certified financial planning professional Tim Stearns discusses taxes in retirement.
Most people are paying more in taxes and keeping less of their money to live and do what they enjoy. That's why we've put out the retirement tax bill calculator online. You can see with your own eyes just how much you might be overpaying. It's a valuable tool, $500 value, but we made it free for you to view and run your own numbers at mvpcfp.com. That's mvpcfp.com.
To run your retirement tax bill calculator, go to mvpcfp.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Pluto TV.
Come on with this, people. Move it!
Did you really think you could make that company deliver yourself?
Oh, I cannot handle any more traffic.
You could be getting much more done at your place of business.
I've wasted 45 minutes and now this place is gonna close.
Time is money. Let Quick Delivery Service take on the traffic hassle for you. They'll deliver almost anything, from large pallets of materials to important documents, or both. No forms, no labels, no scanning. Just tell Quick Delivery Service where it's going, they'll pick it up, and get it to your destination quickly. Your cargo delivery is tracked in real time with GPS. Notifications are delivered right to your inbox. Visit quickdelivery.com. That's quickdelivery.com. Or you can deliver like this.
Seriously, another train?
Or get your delivery there on time with quickdelivery.com. Or call 847-534-2244. 847-534-2244.
If you have high blood pressure, listen to this story. Ira was given a grim diagnosis about his blood pressure. His doctor warned it's sky high. If he didn't get it down in 3 weeks, he was going to need surgery. So Ira began exercising, went on medication. But what seemed to be the miracle change, his diet. After thorough research and consulting with a nutritionist friend, Ira concocted a juice from foods that work like natural blood pressure medicines. 2 weeks later, his blood pressure dropped 30 points. What helped save Ira's life, amazed his doctor, is now available to you. Ira and his nutritionist founded 120 Life, a delicious juice and powdered mix with natural ingredients that have shown to lower blood pressure. Try it yourself risk-free with a 2-week trial pack. Go to 120life.com and use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping. They're so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they'll give your money back if you're not satisfied. Order now, 120life.com. Use coupon code 560 at checkout.
Did you know that AM 560 Radio has a full-service digital marketing division called Salem Surround? If you're a business decision maker, listen up. AM 560 listeners are everywhere your potential audience is. So are our incredible targeting capabilities. We localize digital marketing and put it within reach of every business, small and large, in Chicagoland and beyond. Salem Surround offers AI-powered marketing solutions that reach your ideal audience. Whether or not you tap into the proven live, local, and emotional connection that AM 560 Radio brings, Salem Surround offers a total marketing solution to our partners. All-in-one digital solutions that provide targeted local digital and social media ads, Google AdWords management, website services, video strategy, search optimization, and even a management dashboard to offer you total campaign updates and transparency. Your Salem Surround representative is located right here in Chicago. Experience the Salem Surround digital revolution today. Call 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951.
Replacing windows in the winter may seem counterintuitive, but the fact is, it's a great time to really feel the difference of high-performance windows from Valdecas.
When it's time to consider new windows, siding, and doors for your home, you need to look no further. Sebastian Gorka here to tell you about Valdecas. Valdecas has been the trusted name chosen by thousands of homeowners, and they should be your number one choice too. But what's really behind the name Valdecas? Over 25 years of a team dedicated to providing you with the best customer service experience and products that truly bring value to your home. They are a Pella Platinum Elite Status certified contractor for a reason. They have an A+ rating with the BBB, as well as high ratings and positive reviews on both Google and Houzz. Schedule your free in-house consultation at valdecas.com.
Ask about exclusive manufacturer warranties and the Valdecas 10-year workmanship guarantee.
Don't wait. Book today at valdecas.com. For the best in class, it's Valdecas.
Jeff Tischlar, author of High Tech versus the Highest Tech, has shared his knowledge of the spectacular things that we see in nature as opposed to what man has created, and how this should inform one's faith. Jeff served on the mission field all over the world and has created this highly illustrated and concisely written technical book. The easy-to-read format is understood from the youngest reader to the most intelligent and mature readers. Google and Amazon book reviews include, "This is the best little book I have ever read. It is amazing how much information is in this book." And a beautifully written and illustrated book. The author has a gift for describing complicated technical details in a very understandable style. This book is available now in paperback on Amazon. Search High Tech versus the Highest Tech by Jeff Tischlar. 100% of proceeds go to missions. That's High Tech vs. the Highest Tech by Jeff Tischlar.
In 2012, the Journal of Cognition and Emotion published a study that showed that we make a decision to trust a person within 100 milliseconds of seeing their face. Making a good first impression has never been more important, and you can make that positive impression with a professional headshot from Tom Killoran Photography. Whether you're a job seeker trying to land your next position, or you're looking to build your business by connecting with prospective clients and customers, you need a high-quality headshot to use with your resume, portfolio, website, or other marketing materials. The experts at Tom Killoran Photography can work with you to capture the exact look you need for your professional presentation. Tom Killoran Photography is also the official photographer for AM 560 The Answer. To learn more and to see a sample of their work, just visit KilloranPhotography.com. That's KILLORAN Photography.com, or call them at 708-361-0025. Tom Killoran Photography, capturing important life moments for over 30 years.
Why do so many companies count on Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating? Consistent high level of quality, an ISO certified and A2LA accredited heat treating, electroplating, fastener sorting, and packaging job shop. Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating meets and exceeds client specifications. Whether a high volume or a small production run, their processes ensure a job well done. Celebrating their 15th anniversary this year, they specialize in metal fasteners and stampings for automotive and other industries. And with a newly expanded sorting department, there are many sorting and packaging options to meet your needs. Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating serves customers in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Tennessee, with easy access to all forms of transportation from an automated facility in Riverdale, Illinois, just 15 minutes southwest of Chicago. Want consistent quality? Call Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating, 708-849-2050, or visit RiverdalePHT.com.
MyPillow is excited to announce that they're having the first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98, kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 30% on their brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get the 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard MyPillow, just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship has sailed because right now every order ships absolutely free. MyPillow.com, promo code LIBERTY.
At AlmostFreeTeeth.com, they're dedicated to making smiles great again. If you have medical PPO insurance, find out how you could save 90% off on average to get a beautiful dental implant-supported smile. Check if you qualify right now at AlmostFreeTeeth.com.
When you need parts machined, think NJC for CNC.
NJC Machine Company is a CNC machine shop using computer software combined with old-world craftsmanship, meaning whatever part or piece you need, it'll be done precisely and quickly, beating OEM pricing. Whether you need 1 or 1,000 parts, NJC uses experienced workmanship with state-of-the-art equipment for the finest and fast turnaround CNC milling, CNC turning, and 5-axis machining.
Think NJC for CNC.
A one-stop shop for everything from CNC machining, surface grinding, polishing, welding, and more. NJC has the finest array of capabilities to produce your parts from just about any material.
Think NJC for CNC.
Have a broken part? NJC can reverse engineer it. Get a quote today and discover unparalleled customer service. Just fill out the form online, upload your specs. NJC will reach out within 48 hours.
Go to njcmachine.com.
NJC Machine Company, your Illinois CNC shop.
That's njcmachine.com.
You never want to miss one of life's most important moments. A graduation, a birthday, a first communion, a wedding. When these moments happen, you want to make sure to capture them so that you and your loved ones can remember them for years to come. For over 30 years, families have relied on Tom Killoran Photography to capture important life moments. This locally owned family business can provide the solutions you need for your important event photography, from weddings and birthdays to class reunions and golf outings. No matter the size or scope, Tom Kaloran Photography will make sure you have lasting memories to share for years to come. Tom Kaloran Photography is also the official photographer for AM 560 The Answer. To learn more and to see their portfolio, just visit KaloranPhotography.com. That's KILLORAN photography.com. Or call them at 708-361-0025. Tom Kaloran Photography, capturing important life moments for over 30 years.
Sign up for the AM 560 Answer Advantage to get early alerts on event ticket sales, special discounts, and contest opportunities. Sign up today at 560theanswer.com/advantage.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So last night's speech by President again Trump before the joint session of Congress, it was, I thought, a pretty good summary of the first 6 weeks of President again's second term. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. But I think, frankly, he could have delivered the opening line, dropped the mic, said, updates will follow. I'm getting back to work.
And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yep, that's what it was. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. We'll talk about your favorite moments, the moments the Democrats, too, just completely soiled themselves so many times. I mean, it started with the ladies wearing pink in support of women's rights, where they're fresh off a vote to allow men to continue to play in women's sports.
Yeah, they're unbounded by their hypocrisy. The star of the show last night, for my money, in addition to the President of the United States, of course, was DJ Daniel, this kid, cancer survivor from Texas who wants to be a police officer, and he's been made an honorary police officer many times over, we find out, and after last night, he's honorary Secret Service, too.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
His eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Me?
And then,
it was so cute.
Then Sean Curran comes over, gives him his Secret Service badge, his honorary G-Man badge, and DJ Daniel has that spontaneous hug. And, then as everybody's looking up to the rafters watching this transpire, this started. Pretty cool, and just a little bit on DJ Daniel's backstory in his own words. Pretty tough kid, pretty sharp too.
But you want to know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together, and out of nowhere I locked up, and then my dad was calling my name, and I started going to the slow thing, and he said, "Stop playing with me," and I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow, and then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital, and then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, "Nah, we gonna have to go in his brain tonight." Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally old child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. And I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
One of the moments, and these joint session of Congress speeches, the State of the Union speeches, they always feature ordinary. Well, they have ever since Lenny Slotnick. Feature ordinary Americans who are do extraordinary things or are inspired stories, and it's good. I mean, that's part of it. It speaks to who we are as a nation, and you want to highlight people that should be emulated based on what they've done or how they've handled something that has visited upon them, like in the case of DJ.
You want to show fighters. I mean, he's 13 years old. He's a survivor, and I love the fact that Sean Curran, who was with President Trump when he got shot in Pennsylvania, was the one to give him that badge. And just so you know, he's been sworn in as an honorary officer over 900 times.
Well, I mean, he couldn't do any worse of a job than some of those DHS agents at Butler on that fateful day last July. So, maybe put him out there. Anyway, the overriding theme to me of summarizing what has been accomplished, and also a lot of the why it has been accomplished, and this is where the motif of common sense comes in. I mean, that's really what the counter-revolution, the Trump counter-revolution represents. And the counter-revolution, as he pointed out, that's going on in the Western world more generally. It's just a revolution of common sense. Now, common sense is a term that has been cheapened through overuse, a phrase cheapened through overuse by politicians. But it has real meaning with Trump, in part because of the way he talks about the common sense positions, the pragmatic policies that he promotes. And that is to say, when he talks about DEI, when he talks about boys and girls sports, we're just not going to do that anymore. And you don't really have to explain it beyond that. It's Trump sort of communicating without it needing to be explicit that this is wrong. We all know it's wrong. It is an affront to our shared mores, and we're not doing this anymore. And that was, to me, something that just bound the whole speech together. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. George in Naperville.
Yes, Dan, writing words with magic markers on your clothes and holding signs that look like funeral home signs or fans, wasn't a good look for the Democrats.
No, yeah, the false signs, the little signs that he's talking about, false, and the sort of clashed with the pink get-ups, I thought.
Yeah, and then the live auction paddles, that was a real or bingo, whatever you want to call.
Yeah, that's what he's referring to.
I know.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying.
Well, and it got a little chippy a little bit early because Al Green was there. And
with his cane,
I mean, Al Green from Houston, we've featured him on the show before. He's one of the more unhinged members of the New Marxist Caucus.
He's an octogenarian.
He's always, he's forever advancing articles of impeachment. He's forever playing racial politics, sort of the typical. But even he was more Al Green than anybody could tolerate last night, and he had to be escorted out.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
So Mike Johnson said to Al Green, let's not stay together because you're getting exited. See what I did there?
See?
And
thank you. He didn't like that, though, because he had to make a show of himself on the way out.
Once outside the chamber of, brandishing his cane, he explained himself. Thusly did Al Green, the honorable representative from Houston.
False to a person who uses his incivility against our civilities. he is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
So, sir, were you saying you have no mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
Al Green is trying to be the hero in his own story. I don't know how well that's going to work out for him, but just as a refresher, a flashback only to last month. Al Green, the House floor, inveighing against Trump.
Ethnic cleansing has been a crime against humanity. And I stand here today in the well to denounce what was said, to denounce what the president said, to denounce the complicity of the Prime Minister of Israel, and to remind people that Dr. King was right. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
Yeah, you know that portion of the Constitution where it talks about dastardly deeds being an impeachable offense. One-man gang. Al Green, you know, he's one of those guys, like so many on the left, one of those individuals that really doesn't have anything important to say. So in lieu of making any sort of arguments that have a rational basis, you just get an endless stream of denunciations. You know, it's like the 24 protesters that were out at Federal Plaza yesterday during the speech. It's like their lives are so empty. They're so, without point or gravitas, that it's just an endless series of denunciations for whoever will pay attention. And if you don't pay attention, then I'm going to wave my cane around and make a spectacle of myself and demand you pay attention until you throw me out. Yeah, I mean, and I thought the Al Green beginning against Trump's opener of America is Back was a nice juxtaposition. It spoke to sort of the pragmatism of Trump's America First approach and the maturity and intellectual heft you're dealing with on the left, as nicely illustrated by Al Green.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we'll continue the talk, right?
Yeah, 5:38, take more of your calls, go through more of the highlights of a substantive matter at 5:38.
312-642-5600, grab a line. But now let's head into the newsroom. Nikki Whaley in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump says he's working tirelessly to end the war in Ukraine. Speaking to a joint session of Congress Tuesday night, Trump said millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in the conflict, and there's no end in sight.
It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides.
Trump said the U.S. has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. He spotted Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts applauding for that support and asked if she wants to keep the war going another 5 years. Trump then added a jab, saying Pocahontas says yes. The Zac Brown Band will be headlining the NASCAR Chicago Street Race this summer. The multi-platinum, multi-Grammy award-winning Southern rock band will perform July 5th at the new Busch Light Summer Series stage. The stage will be set up next to the start-finish line in Grant Park. The third NASCAR Chicago Street Race takes place July 5th and 6th. News is a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. You can now enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock all day, every day, including daily replays of Chicago's Morning Answer. Listen now at danandamy247.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Mike Gallagher sees craziness in Germany.
And I want you to hear 60 Minutes.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And it's
yes, it is. No, yes, it's a crime to insult somebody in public in Germany. And CBS is suggesting that would be good here.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
MyPillow is excited to announce that they're having the first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 30% on their brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get the 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard MyPillow, just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship has sailed because right now every order ships absolutely free. MyPillow.com, promo code LIBERTY.
The fight against abortion in Illinois has never been more important than it is right now. Thanks to our elected officials, Illinois has become an abortion tourism destination. The number of abortions in our state continues to grow, despite the fact that crisis pregnancy centers outnumber abortion clinics almost 3 to 1. Now, thanks to a new effort by Caring Network, it's possible to reach abortion-minded women to provide peace of mind and security to help them choose life. This new Reach Her First initiative seeks to provide women with the assurance and information they need before they choose an abortion. But Caring Network needs your help to reach women who are considering abortion. For a one-time gift of just $150, you can help reach 5 women and help them choose life. That's all it takes to prevent an abortion. To make that gift, just go to 560theanswer.com/caring. That's 560theanswer.com/caring.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
From the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
A little bit of rain today with highs in the upper 30s. Right now on I-80 94 westbound in Lake County, just before Broadway, that left lane, it is blocked with a collision on the Kennedy inbound. That is running 26 minutes O'Hare into downtown. Outbound side of the Kennedy at 30 minutes. You do have a crash at Addison. That is in the roadway on the left side. Traffic is a service of AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now check your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late, little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder, the high 50 today, but temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold, clouds this evening, flurries, then partly cloudy late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Later, he gets the rebound,
now,
passes it to the man.
Signature Bank Studios.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy talking about President, again, Trump's speech to the joint session of Congress yesterday. It started with his signature line, America is back. And then there was a bit of a clown show offered by Representative Al Green. And then we got to some of the substance of the matter of the big ticket items that Trump has been focused upon. Border security, ending cultural Marxism at taxpayer expense, pushed by our federal government in terms of DEI, women and men and women's sports, and so forth. Peace in the world, ending forever wars, or potentially forever wars. if the establishment in D.C. had their druthers. And, of course, making America great again by getting it growing again economically. So a lot to tackle there. It was not a concise speech, but it also didn't feel like it labored that much.
Yeah, and I think the reason why, too, is there was dribs and drabs of humor throughout. I mean, he, poking fun at what government waste and the spending that we've been doing and, listing all those programs. And I don't know, he's a good showman.
Well, Musk was front and center, and obviously DOGE was something that needed to be addressed, and it was.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
Yeah, I didn't think transing mice was something I'd ever hear in a joint session, a speech to the joint session of Congress or State of the Union address. But that box got checked last night, and of course, it speaks to, in part, the point of DOGE, which is that you just have spendthrifts in the administrative state. You have general indifference when it comes to oversight of those spendthrifts by the spendthrifts in Congress. And these are some of the Marxist frivolities your money is being wasted on. We're putting an end to that. Part of getting America growing again is reducing the size of government, reducing what government extracts from you. And that's what the DOGE point is.
And it's always a successful evening when you could learn something, you could laugh, and you can cry in the same 2-hour period. Because crying for DJ, I mean, his story, and he was so cute that, I mean, all the ladies in the audience yesterday were teary-eyed watching that at our watch party last night. But then, getting angry at what Biden has done as well with his 4 years and what he's left President Trump.
Yeah, and there were some signature lines last night that speak to the paradigm shift that has occurred. I mean, on the cultural Marxism, whether it is funding it domestically through the administrative state and their phalanx of NGOs, or funding it internationally through USAID, as Trump was detailing.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
Woke no more. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line also, in addition to that, just the top lines. Woke no more, something you'll remember. America's back because we're woke no more and because we have a secure border. And it turns out what the Biden administration was selling the American people
was a bunch of bull jive, huh?
Wasn't what was necessary. Just something simple was.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Bang. That's what happened.
Because how many times did you hear for months, years, we heard, well, we need comprehensive immigration reform. We heard that over and over and over again. And with the help of Congress, we can only get there. And it was all a lie. But I'd love that real quick. My congressman, Quigley, he couldn't go. This president has set flame to every democratic norm and principle of our government. I cannot, in good conscience, adhere to the norm of attending this joint address. Thanks. So he didn't have to go and wear pink then. That was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the performative moral indignation of the left, the bizarre karaoke video that Jasmine Crockett posted, the reading from the same script, all of the new Marxist senators, they're really trying to find their footing in terms of how to respond to this president. And the good thing is he's not spending any time worrying about their response. He's taking the John Wooden approach of, if I do what I'm supposed to do, it doesn't matter what they do. And despite the length of the speech and the number of anecdotes that were he punctuated throughout the speech, it was really a fairly focused speech on the big ticket items upon which he ran and upon which he is delivering to this point. I mean, this is like a progress report in school, right? You're halfway through the first quarter, but there's a lot of activity that needed to be detailed, generally speaking, and a restatement of the direction that this activity is in furtherance of, which I thought was useful, and that was the point of offering about 80 minutes of commentary on the first 6 weeks of this administration. Glenn in Illinois, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. Last night, to me, was better than the Super Bowl. Very exciting, kept my attention. And child named DJ, that was so touching. And I would like to know what the Democrats think of Trump as a racist now.
Well, yeah, that won't change anything. They
sat on their hands for everything.
Yeah,
but how could you sit on your hands when you're profiling a 13-year-old kid who's been through several surgeries? He's still, the cancer is not gone completely from his body, and they don't celebrate that even?
The only thing that seemed to animate the new Marxists, it wasn't DJ Daniel, it wasn't planting a flag on Mars, it wasn't fighting crime, it wasn't helping working families, it wasn't catching terrorists. The announcement that one of the masterminds behind the Abbey Gate attack is being extradited, and he's going to be returned to the United States today to face trial. Wasn't catching terrorists, wasn't destroying the drug and trafficking cartels. The only thing they cheered for that I could pick up
was it Ukraine, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Ending the war in Ukraine. Okay.
Well, not really ending the war, just cheering for Ukraine. I mean, it was more of a Bronx cheer. They weren't cheering the president talking about Ukraine. They were cheering for Ukraine and Zelensky and his impudent behavior in the direction of this president. So even that was stilted. But I mean, just to give you a sense of how scripted they are.
Right.
I mean, this is just two of them. But this is Schumer and Pocahontas, as Trump called her last night. Blumenthal, Andy Kim, Chris Coons, Angela Alsobrooks, Mazie Hirano, Mark Warner, Tammy Baldwin, all of these. There's videos of all these. The creative people on X did a mashup of all this. They literally are reading from the same script with almost the same rhythm. Take a listen.
Cadence.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down. They're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials is not getting better. It's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing. Goose eggs to lower prices for you. Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers on January 6th. That's an effing disgrace. He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data. Social Security numbers, tax returns, health care bills. He's fired thousands of essential workers, people who help our veterans get their benefits, people fighting Ebola in Africa so it doesn't come here. He's frozen funding for vital programs that so many American families need. Cancer research, education funding, payments to family farmers, and so much worse. Why are they doing this? Trump, Musk, DOGE are taking these vital services away from you for one reason only, so they can give tax breaks to their billionaires club. Their plan is awful, simply awful. Billionaires win, families lose.
Well, billionaires
win. That is the truth.
And that is the truth.
Cut.
That is not AI. I think the actual New Marxist caucuses are AI. I don't think they're actual human beings.
Oh my God!
This is literally what is meant when I or Anthony Esselin, who I stole the concept from, talk about politicians who have no brain stems. There is no activity there. Where a brain is supposed to be, there's just political cant that gets repeated. Programmed, literally, like an AI bot. These are chat bots. These are not political leaders.
Text message, Dan and Amy, the Democrats never looked worse, sitting all night like crash test dummies, waving their little negative signs. Get lost.
I can't really.
Oh, crash test dummies. Are you gonna?
The band, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not.
I don't.
Good.
You're not giving it your full effort there, Dan. So you might want to work on that during the break.
Once there was. All right. Greg in Schaumburg.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Real quick, since you're just saying, Amy, do you realize the contribution that you've made to this show? There's no way 10 years ago that Dan would have ever sang. You've added so much to the show.
I don't know about that.
He sang on the station up the dial.
I was the American Idol correspondent for Don Wade Roma. What are you talking about?
Which was so bizarre. That's the first time I heard you on the radio. I thought, Dan's doing that. Wow, he's really expanding into different territories.
Yeah, my repertoire.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Greg.
My comment is that one of the things that Trump is doing is really leading, and the way you lead is you merchandise the people that you've brought into your cabinet to serve. And I'm just struck that everybody knows this cabinet by their first names. He doesn't even have to mention the last name. You mentioned Christie, you mentioned Bobby, you mentioned, it's just like wonderful, and they're good people, and they're just such a contrast to the Democrats that you've just profiled. And you have a sense that they're really going to get things done, and they are, as demonstrated by 6 weeks.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
It's been 6 weeks. It feels like 6 months, But good, a good 6 months.
Maybe those senators should do maybe you could get them to do a medley of the Crash Test Dummy song. Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't come to school, but... okay. There it is. It's digitally remastered. My acapella version. I mean, that's about the depth of what they were saying yesterday. Greg in Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, guys. I love all these lefties want to be just like Europe, all the great places in Europe, England, Germany. Yet everything that they do, all the comments they make, the insults against the president and everybody else, Musk and so on and so forth, whether it be on computer, live, whatever, they would get tossed in prison and get put in handcuffs in most of the places in Europe now with all this leftist crap they're coming up with and wanting to get rid of free speech instead of having more of it. It's just, I find it hilarious that these people are the biggest hypocrites on planet Earth.
True.
A good one.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Greg. Yeah. Publicly insulting someone can land you in cuffs in Germany, but Al Green better mind his P's and Q's if he goes across the pond there. Bill in Waukegan.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you guys, I saw a lot of the paddles. Were they bidding paddles, and what were they bidding on? Because I wanted to find out, Dan, if any of the Democrats, walked away with a nice new car or something.
Yeah, they were. No. They only use those bidding paddles to spend your money, though. That's the problem.
They said false, save Medicaid, Musk steals, liar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jerry with a comment on those Dems with the paddles.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Hello.
Yeah, good parents would have harshly reprimanded their children last night if they exhibited the kind of reprehensible behavior that those lefties did.
Yeah, spank them with those paddles. And not in the way that Barney Frank would like either.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about that kind of spanking. Phil in Maryville.
Morning, guys. Yeah, I could go for a spanking too, but anyhow.
Right, on your own time.
Yeah.
Keep it clean, fellas.
Yeah, I was just saying that most people don't watch the regular press conferences where Trump and Musk talked about that wasteful spending. So with the audience yesterday, most people were actually able to see how brainwashed the Democrats are. And I really didn't think that no tax on overtime and Social Security and all that was going to be legit. But Trump solidified that, and he called the Democrats out. If you don't vote for it, good luck on getting reelected. So it's all good news. I loved it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Phil. Susan, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I couldn't wait to listen to your show after last night. It kept me up. It was very engaging. But do you remember, Dan, did you hear when Al Green got kicked out? Some of the Republicans were singing, hey, hey, goodbye.
Oh, really? No, I didn't catch that. No.
Oh,
well,
yeah, I caught
can't
it.
use it at Sox games anymore because they never win. So,
Ayo.
yeah.
Well, we were in a big group, so everybody was cheering.
Thanks, Susan.
So
yeah.
we didn't. That was fun, by the way. Thank you to everyone who went to our event last night.
Yeah, it's Meridian.
If you're sleeping, wake up, because we're awake.
Meridian in Rolling Meadows. It was nice event.
Walked in there, I'm like, who's getting married?
Good crowd.
Beautiful venue.
Dawn in Naperville.
Hi, good morning. To me, his speech really focused on the youth and hope for America. And I thought it was wonderful how he had Peyton Mann first, so he can show how he's protecting women's sports. and
Peyton McNabb. Yeah.
Yes, excuse me. And I thought it was ironic. You know, you have people there wearing the pink jackets. They can't even define what a woman really is, and you want to sit there and pretend to me that you're protecting women.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But I thought the highlight of the night was when DJ Daniel went behind Jason Hanley. When Jason Hanley found out that he was being accepted into West Point, he's currently a senior in high school. And when he found out, he had that huge smile on his face, and then DJ came up behind him and hugged him.
High-fived him.
High-fived him. That was
a genuine moment. Yep.
That was the best night. I mean, that was the best night. That was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, that DJ kid is a character. He was great last night. He really was. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Oh, hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Thank you much for taking my call. Listen, he knocked it out of the park, but what was so good was the way the left brought out that woman that was all lying and deceitful and that. And when you look at those two things next to each other, the thing that stood out, everything that he said that was so good and got all the applause and everything like that, she just kind of like reworded a little bit and said she's for that and all that kind of thing. A couple things that didn't really go into detail on, she took the liberty to lie about. Oh, you're going to lose your Medicaid.
You're talking about Slotkin, the newly minted senator from Michigan, who did the response.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
When you put those next to each other, you see exactly how the left operates and how deceitful they use deceit and lies. Because the one thing is, boy, she was taking a whole bunch of things that Trump said that that he accomplished, and that was why it was so good that he basically went right down the line, explained everything that he was doing and how good it was, and that make it very difficult for the left to take and lie about it and distort what he's doing and everything.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Appreciate it.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
When your home or business has an insurance claim, the next step is very important. The claim process with insurance can be tedious, hard to understand, and difficult to navigate. You need someone working for you. You need a licensed claim adjuster. Why? The insurance company will send out their inspectors that work for them, get paid by them, and represent them, not you.
This is Dan Lights from Crosscom. We inspect your property, file your claim, negotiate the damages, and maximize your settlement with your insurance company. If we complete the repairs approved by your insurance company, our service is free. Crosscom Public Adjusters has turned denied claims into approved claims. We've also increased insurance claims anywhere from 23 to 1,000%. We are licensed by the Department of Insurance and work in Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southern Wisconsin. Crosscom Public Adjusters, 630-871-5500. Online at CrosscomInc.com. That's CrosscomInc.com. Crosscom, building trust for over 20 years.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do? Like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking. And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:06, a little bit more focus on some of the big ticket items in Trump's speech last night, updating the situation in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Greenland, in Panama, and then at the bottom of the hour, Scott Shellady on tariffs and markets. We'll see you at 6:06.
And anybody offended by the Greenland comment, we'll discuss. It is now 6 a.m., WIND, Chicago.
America is back. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump told us last night.
America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Our confidence is back.
Saying in an hour, 40-minute address before a joint session of Congress, he's accomplished more in 6 weeks than other presidents in 4 years, delivering on what he called an election mandate.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
I mean, as Democrats booed the president, some holding up signs fast and false, and this is not normal, Republicans drowned them out with that USA chant. But then Democratic Congressman Al Green got loud, shouting at the president, waving his cane.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Then House Speaker Mike Johnson had Green removed, prompting the president to say there's nothing that he can say in his speech to make the Democrats happy.
Or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do.
After he was finished,
Senator Alyssa Slotkin gave the Democratic response.
Don't tune out. It's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today?
Slotkin said Ronald Reagan would be appalled at Trump's approach to stopping Russia's war in Ukraine.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Well, days after the White House confrontation, President Trump read a letter during the speech sent by Ukraine's leader, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts.
Now, the president also announced last night an ISIS terrorist has been captured, believed responsible for the terror attack during the 2021 U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan that killed 13 Americans.
This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them.
America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump is touting his crackdown on illegals. During his joint address to Congress, Trump said he's launched the most sweeping border crackdown in American history.
Illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
He said that they've achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Trump says illegals heard his words and chose not to come. He also called Joe Biden the worst president in American history based on what Trump said were hundreds of thousands of illegal border crossings a month. A pedestrian's hospitalized in critical but stable condition after being struck by a Cook County Sheriff's squad car in north suburban Glenview. The incident happened Tuesday morning in the 9800 block of Milwaukee Avenue. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Anyone with any information is urged to contact the Glenview Police Department tip line. Chicago celebrated its 188th birthday yesterday. All this week, one of the city's landmarks is offering free admission. And dates are set for this summer's Lollapalooza in Chicago. The annual music festival is being held July 31st through August 3rd in Grant Park. This year's lineup is expected to be released sometime this month. The event draws hundreds of thousands of people to the lakefront for dozens of performances on multiple stages. News is a service of Low T Center. If you're not feeling the same energy anymore, testosterone therapy or TRT may be the answer. Look for personalized treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Low T Center. Low T Center brings over a decade of experience, so go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Larry Elder explains why nothing gets done in Washington.
This is sickening. The President of the United States is elected. When Obama fired a whole bunch of U.S. attorneys, Eric Holder said elections matter. And you wonder why executive orders are not carried out. Because there are a whole bunch of people who either can't or won't, and there are no consequences when nothing gets done.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard. With a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250, you say the keywords Pure Talk, claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry, Terry.
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Taking a look at the roads from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
It's clear on the Edens, both directions. Kennedy inbound at 32 minutes from O'Hare into downtown. It's starting to move outbound on the Kennedy, 34 out to the airport. The Eisenhower inbound starting to fill in. Jane Addams to Congress at 40 minutes, 22 minutes in from Wolf Road. It got no outbound delays on the Eisenhower. Road work being lifted. I-57 southbound, that on-ramp at Fulmer, that is just reopened following the overnight construction. Traffic is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and the Sean Thompson Show. When you go to 560theanswer.com/store. Reporting this morning from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now checking your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Windy with rain and some snow late tonight. Little or no accumulation. Rumble of thunder. High 50, but temps sliding into the 30s. Windy and cold. Flurries tonight. Low 26. And then sunny, breezy day tomorrow. The high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Just a programming note. I know our listeners want to keep us to at least the same ethical standards as the the political ruling class in Chicago and Illinois. So the gifts that we received last night at our watch party at the Meridian Banquet Hall in Rolling Meadows will be put in our gift closet here at AM 560, which we will post online for you to peruse.
Did you see, I don't know if any of you are watching it, our Signature Bank on YouTube or Rumble. Somebody laminated a picture of Trump signing an executive order banning men and boys from women's sports, girls' sports.
And they gave that to you, which is nice.
Yeah. And then I got a pair of Trump earrings.
I saw those. Those were very comely.
Well, the thing is that
I
said was
all
those
would be displayed in the gift closet.
I said, and then we got Mardi Gras beads. Oh, I'm not done. I mean, I've got
Why?
more pictures because today is the first day of Lent. And the
right, nothing speaks of Lent like Mardi Gras beads.
And then also, of course, some Georgia Tech rules for engineers magazine.
The National Society of Black Engineers.
Yeah, there we go. National Society of Black. Got that. You can guess who I got that from, Bob. And then the earrings. So the problem with all I said to her was, those earrings are so nice. And she literally took them off and gave them to me. And I was like, I can order my own pair. And she wasn't having it. She's Italian, you know. She told me twice that she's Italian.
You should have gone.
Okay, I'll take them.
You should have gone in the parking lot and said that Dodge Charger is very nice. See if somebody would have given you that too.
Yeah, but thank you for everyone who attended.
I got a hat from Trump International.
Oh, you did?
Guy I was sitting with is a former police chief at Lombard. Gave me a hat. Again, will be on display in a mannequin head that looks similar to mine in our gift closet.
Okay.
So all that will be disclosed there.
Yes, thank you.
All right. On some substantive matters from last night's speech, we should address the developments in the geopolitical arena. The surprise, of course, was in relation to the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan and the 13 who were killed in the terrorist attack at Abbey Gate. And so some good news that was delivered by President Trump about the parties responsible for that attack on U.S. soldiers.
Once again, standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
The individual has been identified as Mohammed Sharifullah. He's expected to land at Dulles, or maybe he already has, early morning hours today, and he will, again, as President Trump said, face justice in the United States. Imperfect, but that's what we can do, bring those who have committed acts of violence against the United States, against our soldiers, to heal and bring them to justice and the law. And this was very similar to the message he sent to the drug and trafficking cartels in Mexico. I know this wasn't of much interest to the New Marxist Party as they so displayed, but I think it's of interest to the American people writ large.
But remember, Biden had no regrets about his 4 years in office. No, he couldn't even say he regretted what happened during that ghastly withdrawal from Afghanistan when people were hanging on an American plane on the outside of the plane trying to escape with them. It was just, it was a scene out of a bad movie.
Also in advance, just spanning the globe here, a lot of activity. In advance of last night's speech, Ukrainian President Zelensky posted on X, "I would like to reiterate Ukraine's commitment to peace. None of us wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We're ready to work fast to end the war, and the first stages could be the release of prisoners and a truce in the sky and truce in the sea immediately, if Russia will do the same. Then we want to move very fast through the next stages and to work with the United States to agree on a strong final deal. We really we do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. And we remember the moment when things changed, when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins. We are grateful for this. Our meeting in Washington did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. It is time to make things right. We would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive. Well, that is a pretty big change in tone and posture as compared to what Zelensky did on Friday, and then some of the comments he made subsequent over the subsequent several days. So the message is starting to be received. That's good news. So for all of the hand-wringing about Trump's seeming unorthodox approach in some of these matters, he has put the why he's doing it out there, and he's bringing people along to discuss the when and the how. But the why is he wants peace. He wants people that commit acts of violence against Americans brought to justice. These are the big why value propositions he's offering, and he's addressing these matters, I think, in an appropriate way, despite all of the performative criticisms you get from the left. Something else, too, on this, speaking of performative criticisms and chuckling at Trump, just like the Germans chuckled at him when he spoke against their energy deal with Russia 7 years ago. It's all very funny to the establishment and the established way of thinking until it produces disastrous results and the seeming unorthodox approach. The guy who's violating all the norms, so say the foreign policy establishment types, achieves real dividends for the American people. And so he didn't mention the Middle East yesterday. Not that I caught. Didn't talk about Gaza or his plan to take his proposal to rebuild Gaza. But interestingly, because of the proposal that he did put forward with the, resort brochures and AI videos and everything else, Arab countries meeting in Egypt talking about a $53 billion reconstruction plan in Gaza.
Really? So he always gets the conversation going.
And he is providing a great contrast. His approach to the approach of those foreign policy establishment types who, think sort of deferring to Ukraine, for example, rather than interceding to provide that strong leadership that Zelensky now says he wants from America, is the way to go. And he called them out yesterday, did President Trump. And he called one of them out in particular.
The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. 2,000 people are being killed every single week.
Uh-huh. So who's laughing now? Who's the butt of jokes now? 3 years into that devastating war. All the pronunciations from Senator Krakajewia and the rest of them who share a teleprompter to read their assigned lines. Mm-hmm. So action in Gaza because of Trump changing the nature of the discussion. Action in Ukraine for the same reason. He did address the Panama Canal. There's action there, too. You have now BlackRock taking control over two important ports there, and him and No uncertain terms, Trump saying we're taking back the Panama Canal, and Marco Rubio is charged with delivering it. He also had this to say about Greenland. So for those who thought that, with respect to the canal and with respect to Greenland, that he was just trolling. No, I don't think so.
He made an offer.
I don't think so. We have action on all fronts. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. And here was his message to the indigenous population in Greenland.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
One way or the other, that's what one of the text messengers, one of our listeners texted in. Please talk about Greenland. I am Danish, and I have someone living in Greenland who is freaking out about Trump invading the island.
Yeah, I don't think Trump is really in the invasion business. So the Canadians that are suggesting that he will launch an offensive and reclaim Ottawa for the United States and annex Canada as the 51st state or something like this. Does anybody get the sense that that's really his approach? You expect a preemptive military strike from Trump against our erstwhile allies?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. I mean, he said that Greenland has the right to determine their sovereignty, but hopes that they'll agree to become a part of America for the sake of international security.
Yeah. So,
but then he threw in the line one way or the other, which made me think, or was he just being? Was it just a hyperbole? I mean, he was just being Trump.
I mean, here's his pitch to Greenland.
Okay.
Do you want me to send you back to where you were? Unemployed in Greenland?
Exactly. It's just like Vizzini said to Andre the Giant in Princess Bride. You don't want that, do you? Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any invasions. People are freaking out. You heard his self-determination. He's encouraging. He thinks it would be better for Greenland, and he thinks it would be better for the United States for strategic national security reasons, as has been documented, by the way, long before Trump became the president of the United States. The understanding of Greenland's strategic position and a concern, which is why we've had military presence there. Right. Just like the Panama Canal, is he going to invade and colonize Panama? No. That's not the approach. The approach is to make the case, we built it, we gave it to Panama. We shouldn't have given it to Panama, but we did. Now Panama has effectively turned it over to China. Well, we can't allow that in our hemisphere. Monroe Doctrine updated to the Trump Doctrine. And so now he is essentially working through private actors. Not that I'm a fan of Larry Fink and BlackRock, but working through private actors that are America-based to do through the back door what Greenland might not provide through the front door. A lot of action for a guy who's, engaged in crazy talk. The crazy talk over the last several decades, as he sort of highlighted the other day when he was talking about Russia and Ukraine and where Russia has launched military attacks to expand the territory under its control, where and when. It turns out that those who are coloring inside the very narrow lines drawn by the Council on Foreign Relations and NATO and the United Nations, they're the ones who have made the world less safe and America less safe by extension. And that's getting reset. Maybe not always with the soaring foreign service rhetoric that you're used to, but reset nonetheless. to America's benefit. Hard to argue with that. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Always great to see you guys at one of your events. Here's another topic that came up that Trump mentioned, the apparent capture, a suspect of the planner for the Kabul airport attack.
Yeah.
I wonder how much news there will be about that.
Well, I mean, it was mentioned, and we just reported it. I'm sure many others will, and I expect that when they move to the prosecution phase of the process, there will be some attention. But sure, you're right. I mean, I get the point that anything that Trump accomplishes to the benefit of American people will naturally be tamped down by the D.C. press corps because they're the comm shop for the new Marxist Party. So that's what they do. Understood. Something else, too, by the way, just in terms of Ukraine and Russia, since he raised the issue. And since, his rhetoric has been so dangerous, and Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona was suffering PTSD after the meeting on Friday in the Oval Office between Trump and Zelensky went sideways. And he's Moscow's man in D.C., and he's endangering Ukrainian sovereignty, and he's aligning with Putin, and he's making the world less safe, and he's greenlighting Putin to take Poland or Romania or the Baltics next, and all of this business. Oh, really? Bill Clinton, you remember him? He was a president.
Yeah, and who did he align with, Dan?
And again, despite, first they ignored the last 25 years of history. The Obama-Hillary Clinton reset with Medvedev and Putin, and then Crimea goes. And Biden's appeasement approach and sort of middling approach and providing support for Ukraine. And then essentially the Donbass region goes. And this was after he took Georgia while George W. was president. But going back even before that, let's go back to the last century, the end of the last century, when Bill Clinton served 2 terms. Remember that? He had a relationship with Putin. He's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. What was his take on Putin? An approach. See if this conjures up any parallels to the present.
Mr. Putin he's very smart.
Well, you know him better than most people.
Yeah, I do.
What was he like behind closed doors, away from, the sort of the public utterances?
Smart and remarkably, we had a really good, blunt relationship.
How blunt?
Brutally blunt.
Ever fisticuffs?
No, but I think the right strategy most of the time but it's frustrating to people in your line of work. You should be brutally honest with people in private. And then if you want them to help you, try to avoid embarrassing them in public.
Right.
Now, sometimes they do things which make it impossible for you to keep quiet. But by and large, I found all the people I dealt with appreciated it if I told them the truth. How I honestly felt and what our interests were and what our objectives were. And they also appreciated it when I didn't kick them around in public for as long as I couldn't kick them around. So, that's my experience. And
did Putin ever renege on a personal agreement he made to you?
He did not.
So behind closed doors, he could be trusted?
He kept his word.
Interesting. Was Bill Clinton the Manchurian candidate for Vlad Putin before Trump was? All of you on the left. The history we don't know, because the left is just like the people they put in office. So much of the rank and file left, just like the people they put in office. First of all, they can't even think critically anymore because they've been so their minds have been so atrophied by Trump hate, whipped up by this same D.C. press corps, craven and dishonest as they are. And so there is no ability to think. The only functionality is to regurgitate denunciations. And that necessarily means you have to ignore any lessons of history. Avoid any uncomfortable comparisons. Boy, Trump is making that more and more difficult with each passing day, isn't he?
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
So how's the separation going? Are you guys able to work things out?
No. I think we're headed for divorce.
That sucks. Gonna be an expensive legal battle?
Well, no, that's one thing we agree on, actually. Arbitration.
Arbitration? Like mediation?
Sort of, but better. We'll have a firm decision.
Oh, that's easier. Who's your arbitrator?
Bert Hochberg.
That attorney at Schiller, DeCanto, and Fleck?
Yeah, senior partner. Comes highly recommended.
Are you facing divorce or a family law issue? Burton S. Hochberg offers arbitration services, a dispute resolution process that will save you time, money, and the complexity of litigation. Let Burton hear and resolve your claims with choices that best suit you and yours. To discuss, call Bert directly. Or even better, have your attorney call Bert at 773-255-6150. That's 773-255-6150. Again, 773-255-6150. No one knows arbitration like Bert Hochberg. Why go through a difficult divorce? Call Bert at Schiller, DeCanto, and Fleck, Chicago's preeminent family law firm since 1981.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Bob Chivato, owner of Go Exceed and a customer of Signature Bank. By leveraging AI and machine learning, we provide data management solutions for corporations to save time and money managing their cellular devices. While we rely on machines to help us run our business, we believe personal relationships are essential. This is why we chose Signature Bank. Having a banking partner who understands our background, our business, and our priorities is fundamental to our success. Any bank can provide basic services, but having a bank that you can trust, one that looks out for you and treats your business like its own, that's irreplaceable.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk tariffs and tax cuts with Scott the Cow Guy, Shellady, 636.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Nikki Whaley in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump says he'll fight inflation by rapidly reducing energy costs. The president criticized the Biden administration, saying it'll cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
He said that President Biden halted pipeline construction and closed more than 100 power plants. To counter, Trump says he's working on a gigantic national gas pipeline in Alaska and that Japan, South Korea, and other nations will be spending trillions of dollars on Americans' partners. Trump says he'll dramatically expand production of critical rare earth minerals in the U.S. A student is wounded after being shot while walking to school on the south side. Police say the 15-year-old girl was walking yesterday morning outside of Perspective Leadership Academy in the 8500 block of South Lafayette Avenue when somebody in a vehicle opened fire. The teen suffered a gunshot wound to her left thigh and was taken to the hospital in fair condition. No one has been arrested. News is a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is over. If you have medical PPO insurance, find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560.
Hugh Hewitt knows what the media is serving.
It's something I think a lot of people in the media have a difficult time admitting. They really don't know what's going on, and therefore they make stuff up. What they think they understand is Donald Trump, and they know that some in their audience love to hate on Trump, so they serve that up piping hot every night whenever their show comes on.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Honey, we're not moving, but we gotta do something about this kitchen.
Funny you mention it. I just stopped by Forever Remodeling's new showroom in Niles. I saw over a dozen kitchen and bathroom layouts they designed. They even offered to stop by the house and give us a free in-home design consultation.
What'd you tell them?
That we're free today?
Visit foreverremodeling.com today. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com. Forever Remodeling, stress-free and high-quality remodeling.
People ask us, when's the best time to replace an old furnace? Simple. Before it breaks. At Air Ride Heating and Cooling, we know there's never a good time to be without heat, especially in Illinois. If you can't remember the last time your furnace was inspected, get some peace of mind by having Air Ride take a look. Plus, AM 560 listeners get $56 off any service. Visit Air Ride Heating and Cooling today at air-rite.com. That's AIR-RITE.com. Air Ride Heating and Cooling, doing it right since 1959.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From the Team Hawkburg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
I-80 eastbound in Will County at Larkin. You've got a stalled vehicle. It's on the shoulder with crews on the scene. I-80 westbound near I-55 at the right lane. It's blocked with a collision. Reports of some potholes in the roadway on I-80 westbound, so use caution. Watch for that. Stalled car on the Eisenhower inbound near Pulaski. That's off to the left shoulder. Jane Addams to Congress running 40 minutes. It's 22 in from Wolf. Stop and go on DeSoto Lakeshore Drive northbound from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood Avenue. This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Try a $3 Son of a Baconator today. Big news, bacon lovers. Wendy's Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. For just $3, you get crispy, crunchy apple smoked bacon, 2 juicy beef patties, plenty of cheese on a burger. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's. Reporting this morning from the Team Hawkburg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now check your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late, little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder. The high 50 today, but temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold, clouds this evening, flurries, then partly cloudy late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. That outgoing grade school drama teacher the Canadians made their Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, took to a podium to decry the tariffs that Trump imposed on Canada and Mexico, suggesting again that the real motivation for Trump is subjugation of the Canadians, and that these tariffs, the reciprocal tariffing, as Trump calls it, will only result in Canadians and Americans both being hurt.
So we actually have to fold back on the one thing he has said repeatedly, that what he wants is to see a total collapse of the Canadian economy. Because that'll make it easier to annex us is the second half of his thought. Now, first of all, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's never going.
We will never be the 51st state. But yeah, he can do damage to the Canadian economy, and he's started this morning. But he is rapidly going to find out, as American families are going to find out, that that's going to hurt people on both sides of the border.
Well, a couple of things. One is nobody can do more damage to the Canadian economy than did the socialist Trudeau and his party. That's number one. I mean, for a guy who locked down his country, talking about what an outside party can do to damage their economy is really rich. Secondly, while I am a free trader, to listen to protectionist socialist hacks like Justin Trudeau lecture anybody about trade is laughable because, of course, all of these socialist presidents and prime ministers of Western nations, minus Malay and Argentina, are protectionists themselves.
Right.
So, I mean, they have no moral standing on the issue. These are not free traders. It's not Frederic Bastiat you were listening to as the Prime Minister of Canada. The guy's a joke. He's a joke. And, by the way, to the extent that people think that Trump is ideological rather than pragmatic, you already had his Commerce Secretary yesterday, Howard Lutnick, on with Larry Kudlow, talking about conversations that were instigated by the much anticipated implementation of these tariffs to suggest that there may be a compromise that alleviates these tariff impositions right quick.
He's going to come out today angry that Americans are still being killed. Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more, and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow. So somewhere in the middle will likely be the outcome. The president moving with the Canadians and Mexicans, but not all the way.
Yeah, and so that was Lutnick yesterday. So he's talking about as soon as today, you may hear movement on this issue from the president. In addition to that, I mean, just remember before we get too worked up about this, Trump is not making philosophical arguments for an autarky. He's making the kind of arguments he did yesterday in the joint session during his speech in the joint session of Congress about fairness.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them.
There is an argument to be made to be preemptively free trade, and I can make it, but that's not really the point at this stage. The point is the argument Trump is making and what room it provides for us to get to a better place where trade barriers are reduced across the board, opening markets and making markets more attractive, foreign markets more attractive for U.S. producers, as well as reducing the overall price for everyday goods to U.S. consumers. For more on this, pleased to be joined by our friend Scott the Cow Guy Shellady, market specialist for Market Day Report, 10:30 to 1, and also the host of the Cow Guy Close, 1 to 1:30 Chicago time, both at RFD TV. Scott the Cow Guy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So, the Wall Street Journal editorial page and some of the other usual suspects offering their customary denunciation of Trump's mercantilist tendencies and trotting out CEOs who say the price of smart TVs is going to go up and the price of beer is going to go up and so on and so forth. But now that we're at this place where we knew we were going, so I don't know why people are feigning surprise.
I know.
What do you say about what the president had to say yesterday, including what his Commerce Secretary had to say about, there was already discussions to move us away from this precipice of a trade war?
Look, I listened to what you had to say, and I agree. Nobody really likes the tumult that this causes with these tariffs. But the other side of that coin is, Dan, is that you have to then say, okay, I'm happy with the status quo. Let them continue to rip us off, and just as long as our stock market doesn't tank.
Right.
I mean, that's what I can't stand about it. So what you want to say is let China continue to take $500 billion to $1 trillion worth of our intellectual property rights every year because you don't want your 401k to be hurt. I mean, there is going to be a day, if he does this right, where we can have strong trading partners that treat us fair, and we have a strong stock market that's not built on, Jay Powell and this Fed put, the market's never going to go down again because I'm not going to let it. So the way I see it is that it's almost like the Ukraine-Russia war. Okay, what's your idea?
Yeah.
Because what's happening now is unacceptable. So, I mean, give me another option, because right now he's saying, I know people that know Trump, and they say fundamentally he is a fair person. He's not trying to rip anybody off. He just feels like we're getting ripped off. And the guy, for a guy born on Flag Day in America, I get that. So I think America's behind him on this. I don't think that they're angry. Hey, yeah, it sucked that we had to pay 9.1% CPI. The inflation was crazy under Biden, but that was dumb inflation. This we might get something out of down the road, and it might not last that long, i.e., I was shocked when I went home and saw that tweet from Commerce Secretary Lutnick that there may already be some movement after one day. So I told people yesterday, everybody was running around with their hair on fire. Give it 8 weeks, You might find out in 3 weeks we have we've solved the Russia-Ukraine war. You might see that a lot of these tariffs have settled down. Maybe some people have come in tow and done the right thing when it comes to fentanyl and migration. And all of a sudden you're going to go, you know what? Maybe this isn't that bad. Maybe this is. And by the way, there's a long supply chain, which we all learned about 4 years ago, right? Sometimes, like the Chipotle CEO said, they start to suck up a little bit of that price rise along the way. So by the time it does reach the consumer at Walmart or Target, they're not paying 25% more for anything, maybe slightly more, but everybody takes a little bit along the way so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm willing to give the guy a shot, because status quo ain't cutting it.
Well, I had a friend yesterday, a Republican who loves Trump. She's very worried. She said, my car's about to break down. She's like, I think I'm going to have to buy a car tomorrow before car prices go up $4,000 a vehicle, because that's what the left is telling us. So is that an exaggeration or a lie?
I mean, it depends what she buys.
Well,
that number one.
Right. I mean, that's also the false narrative, right? Because you have tariffs can be inflationary if there's no other option. Okay. So if you walk into Walmart and you've got an option of 10 things to buy, 2 of them have been tariffs, you're going to buy one of the other 8, right? So there may be a car that doesn't go up in price because it's not tariffs. So this is what they don't tell you when you watch the mainstream media. Yeah, there can be some price rises on some of the things that get tariffs, but not everything gets tariffed. If there's a lookalike option that does the same thing that's similar, that's not tariffed, that will get bought. And usually, I think Donald Trump's going to think that's going to be the American product.
What about crude oil? 60% of our crude oil comes from Canada. power, Ontario, Canada powers up part of Detroit, Michigan, and that could be in peril too.
We get 6.5 million barrels a day of crude. I mean, from Canada and Mexico combined. I mean, that's replaceable, and frankly, they need us to import their crude more than we need to import it. And by the way, just as this is a perfect segue, because I want you to weigh in on this too, Scott. One of the things that Trump said in terms of making America affordable again was unleashing the energy sector that was governed by the previous administration. Take a listen.
Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Yeah, reducing one of the big inputs when it comes to producing and delivering a product, that'll bring prices down.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that has to be his first thing. I mean, he's got a difficult job ahead of him. Inflation is bubbling up. I mean, that's something he's going to have to fight. But the one thing that he could really help him right away is lower oil prices, because, energy's in everything that it's in the things you wear, it's in the things, it's the transportation of the things you wear or the things you eat. I mean, it's part of everyday life. And if you can bring that down by 20%, you're going to be off to a great start, because he does have a difficult time. I mean, yes, there are going to be some things that are a little bit more expensive because of the tariffs. That's going to be the problem. Yes, the Biden administration poured $10 trillion in 4 years into our economy. That money supply has not gone away yet. So when you pour that much money into an economy like that, it has to work itself out, and it's not done it yet. So we still have CPI and PPI that are still ticking higher. So, he's got like a golf shot in front of him, Dan, where he's got to go under the bush and over the tree. And I think that's going to be pretty hard, but he can't do it because, if he gets DOGE on board, I mean, think about it, though. DOGE is going to be pulling money out of the system, too, right? They're going to be slowing down money supply. Well, that's deflationary. That's going to slow the economy down. I mean, I think Trump's going to have to suffer through a short-term recession here, because look what the Atlanta Fed already put out. The Atlanta Fed GDP now, at February 4th, it was around 4% for the quarter. Now it's down about minus 2.3. And that's because we're sucking money out. We're not spending it like we were. We've got a non-farm payroll number this Friday. Under Biden, we could always expect most of those jobs to be coming from government jobs and money from the government. Well, you take that out of the equation, and it doesn't look as good. Biden, all he did was flood the system with money so that it never looked like we would go into a recession. Meanwhile, we were probably in a recession, but it was because of the $10 trillion that they were flooding it with that it never printed a negative GDP. So we're going to get back to truth in banking and truth in economy. I mean, Trump's going to be all about uncomfortable truths. We have to have a come to Jesus and say, we can't keep doing this because A, we're broke, and B, it's just not sound economics.
Yeah, that really is the dynamic. And this is why it's so frustrating, because you're getting lectured on protectionism by protectionists. You're getting lectured on, fiscal responsibility by, fiscal spendthrifts. I mean, it's just so tiresome, but they get away with it because so few people have a basic understanding of economics, and most of them are in public office. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that's just so frustrating about this position we're in, and the and decrying the policies that Trump is reversing that got us into this place, as well as policies that were in place that he's extending for other reasons, like tariffs, in previous administrations. It's just very frustrating, the lack of attention span and ability to assimilate basic economic information, and that's, I guess, what the left is really counting on.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll give you two things, right? We'll start with Justin Castro. What he did with that trucker strike is unfathomable. I mean, it's unforgivable. I mean, that was like he took over those people's bank accounts.
Yep.
When we talk about that happening here today, people go, no, that can never happen. Well, it happened in Canada. It happened in Canada. And by the way, if you want to bet against Canada and the U.S. in a trade war and you want to take Canada's side, good luck to you, by the way. Anyway,
yeah, right.
That's one issue. Number two is, how about this? I'm going to go back to the beginning of this Russia-Ukraine war. I know Putin's he's a horrible person. I get it. But you know what? Ukraine is not a democracy. It never was. I lived in London for 16 years. The NATO would often say, it's 25 years before Ukraine could get into NATO because it was the dirtiest country in the world. They were the dirtiest country in the world. It'll be 25 years before they get into NATO. All we had to say, all Kamala Harris had to say when she went over there was, don't worry, Putin, they're never going to be in NATO, and we would have saved 1 million lives. But no, we couldn't say that because I don't know why we have to defend this democracy, which it's not. He's just a mini Putin. He hasn't done the bad things that Putin's done, but he's thrown the church in jail, his competition in jail. Mm-hmm. He's shut down the church. No election. I mean, from one thing to the next, he acts like Putin, except for he hasn't done the things is quite as bad. It's not a democracy. Stop saying we're going to be saving a democracy. We're just dealing with a miniature Putin.
Well, I think Americans, too, are sick of funding their war that's not going anywhere and could last even longer. We'd spend even more billions of dollars, that's for sure.
Wait, what did you, when you talk about the jobs numbers this coming week for last month, for February, not that we're to put too much stock in those numbers anymore, but what are you suggesting we're going to see?
Well, I'm saying that when you stop the spending that the government was doing, the government was hiring all these people. Look what we found out with USAID. All the money that we were building up and hiring. I mean, heck, we were about to hire 87,000 more IRS agents, right? So if you stop that spend, and that was what they were doing, they were pouring our tax dollars into the economy so that they wouldn't see the economy shrink. But here's how bad. See, they can't even cheat. They're so dumb. We were spending 5 U.S. tax dollars to buy 1 GDP dollar.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad of a deal we were getting. So they were having to spend 5 times more money to buy $1 of GDP so that we wouldn't have a negative GDP, and because they didn't want to have to worry about calling something a recession for 2 quarters in a row. We would have had a recession had they not been spending that money.
And your point is,
not,
and your point is pull back the government spend and provide more operating space for the private sector, and you're going to see more investment, and you're going to see more investment, and you're going to see real economic growth. But it's not a light switch. It's going to take time.
Yeah, but no, you're going to have a recession before it happens. Absolutely, yeah. And I think, you're going to have a couple of quarters of negative growth, and he's going to get lamb-blasted. But in the end, it's going to be healthier. Go look at a chart of the S&P 500, folks, anybody out there, from 2008 and 2009. It goes straight up. It's almost like somebody said to Jay Powell, you aren't letting the market go down ever again. You can't have – that's not life. That market never gets better and heals itself. It's fake. So look at that chart. Go back all the way to 1970, where it slowly rises 8 to 10% for 20 or 30 years, and all of a sudden you get to 08, 09, and it skyrockets. It's not normal. And I think Trump sees that and wants to get back to a normal. I mean, come on. In my business, we got young kids getting out of college that think 24, 25% is a normal return on the stock market. You're out of your mind.
And they all own Bitcoin too, so they think like,
Oh, right. And I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot because I don't like Bitcoin. I get it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I can't wait to retire. They can have
it. Scott, the Cow Guy Shelley, market specialist for Market Day Report, 10:30 to 1, as well as host of the Cow Guy Close, 1 to 1:30, both at RFD TV. Scott, the Cow Guy, thank you.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We always use M13. They can print anything.
They design and price match. M13 does amazing work.
M13 Graphics has helped make our brand stand out. They're definitely the best for less.
Before M13, amateur. With M13, we look awesome.
M13 Graphics, Chicago's leader in full-color design and printing. Set your business up for success with exceptional print products. Turned around in just 24 to 48 hours. Business cards, postcards, posters, banners, brochures, apparel, you name it. M13 will design and print nearly anything for your business. They have the right people in place and a reputation that keeps customers happy and coming back for more. They're a Chicago company that embodies the idea of business integrity. They live it every day. After all, in this country, you're free to do business with who you choose. Respect that freedom. Choose the best. For speedy turnaround, excellent service, and the best pricing in Chicagoland, choose M13 Graphics for all your design and printing. Online at M13.com. Visit M13.com or call now, toll free, 877-M13-1913. That's 877-M13-1913.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right. We're cooking here. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk border security, national security, public health, all sorts of things we have to talk about with Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, including what questions he would have for BLM Brandon if he was able to query all of those sanctuary city mayors, including our very own, like the House Oversight Committee today. Can't wait for that. That's as well.
I think is it going to be on C-SPAN 1 or C-SPAN 2? Because I'm going to be watching. There's going to be 3 other mayors that are going to be testifying as well. Barrington owns Mayor Wu and Denver's mayor, and it should be good. It's now 7 a.m. WIND Chicago.
It was the longest presidential address before Congress on record. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, an hour and 40 minutes.
To my fellow citizens, America is back.
And President Trump touted what he's done so far in his return.
It has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era.
Citing his work to slash the size and cost of government and saying we're no longer woke.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies.
The president also said his new tariffs will stop the U.S. from being ripped off.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Though he did ask farmers to bear with him that there will be an adjustment period as Trump critics warn of more inflation and economic trouble. Democrats booed the president at times. Some held up signs like false and this is not normal. Congressman Al Green shouted at the president, waving his cane, and then House Speaker Mike Johnson intervened.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions.
And Green was escorted out, saying after,
I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it.
In the official Democratic response after the speech, Senator Alyssa Slotkin said,
America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way.
Warning.
If he's not careful, he could walk us right into a recession.
During the speech, President Trump also read a letter from Ukraine's leader who wrote he's ready to work out a lasting peace deal to end the war with Russia days after the contentious confrontation at the White House. President Trump also announced last night an ISIS terrorist has been captured, believed responsible for the 2021 attack during the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan that killed 13 American troops. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz just told Fox.
The president said even to these families at Arlington, we're going to get this guy. We shared the intelligence with Pakistan, and he's rolled up, and he will be tried in a U.S. court.
He did make an appearance today in Virginia. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump says the GOP-led Congress will balance the federal budget. Speaking to a joint session of Congress Tuesday night, Trump said his plan for the gold card will assist with that.
And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs.
He says they will balance the federal budget.
And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
In the meantime, Democrats walked out of Trump's speech. The walkout happened after Texas Democrat Al Green was removed from the chambers for yelling at the president. Governor Pritzker's responding to the president. He said that Trump once again showed us that he cares more about giving tax cuts to the biggest corporations and wealthiest people more than he cares about making life more affordable for America's working families. Pritzker accused the president and his administration of being out of touch with realities facing working families. Mayor Johnson's blasting the confirmation of Linda McMahon to lead the U.S. Department of Education. He says he's deeply concerned about the confirmation, calling McMahon a billionaire with no education experience. He claims her only mission is to defund and privatize the public education system. McMahon is a former professional wrestling promoter who was married to Vince McMahon, CEO and owner of WWE, former owner. Linda McMahon left WWE back in 2009 for politics. News is a service of Valdecast Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality and professional-level window replacement service, contact Valdecast Windows. Your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor. Visit Valdecast.com.
You've got a crash on the Kennedy inbound. This is approaching Irving
Mike
Park
Gallagher
Road.
sees Trump doing what we want.
The media and the Democrats are melting down over Trump expecting accountability from the thousands and thousands and thousands of federal workers who work for us. The moral of the story is we voted for accountability.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard. With a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250, say the keywords Pure Talk, claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry!
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Lines.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to Pragertopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, his famous Torah teachings, and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at Pragertopia.com. Pragertopia.com.
Taking a look at the roads from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
I-80 eastbound in Will County at Larkin, stalled car. It is on the left shoulder. You've got crews there on the scene.
Chicago's morning.
Potholes reported on the ramp to I-55. This is from I-80 westbound. Large potholes in that right lane. The Kennedy inbound stop and go from Nagle to Central, 34 minutes from O'Hare into downtown. Traffic is a service of Low T Center. If you're not feeling that same energy anymore, testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. Look for personalized treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Low T Center. Low T Center brings over a decade of experience, so go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a quick check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late. Little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder. The high 50 today, but temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold. Clouds this evening. Flurries, then partly cloudy. Late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, arguably the line of the night, because the issue was perhaps the most impactful in last year's election. The line of the night from President, again, Trump, was on border security.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite. There it was. Yeah, and by the way, that's not me saying it, perhaps the most impactful. That's none other than David Leonhardt, opinion section boss over at the Gray Lady. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what's going on there?
So we're in heady territory now. We had 8 million immigrants coming to the country. Appears about 5 million of them entered illegally, a vastly faster pace than under Trump or Obama. Almost immediately, immigration surged. It was never what most American voters wanted, and it was particularly not what lower income voters across races wanted. Well, that didn't matter, because when you're an open borders ideologue, you're not particularly interested in what lower income voters or anybody else has to say about what you're doing, and they paid a political price for it. And Trump made sure that the stories you should remember as illustrative of the horrors that were unleashed by the Biden administration are indeed remembered. Laken Riley's mom and her sister were present yesterday, and Trump introduced them thusly.
A brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
And the Democrats still sat on their hands for that, too.
Mm-hmm. Jocelyn Nungaray, Trump signing an executive order in real time, renaming a wildlife refuge after Jocelyn Nungaray, another young girl that was brutalized and murdered by a person who shouldn't have been in this country. We have stories here in Illinois, even recently, those two girls from the suburbs, Katie Abraham and Chloe Polson, killed in a crash visiting friends at U of I. That should have never happened because you had an illegal immigrant in this country who shouldn't have been here, driving drunk, crash into their car, kill those 2 young women.
Took off running, was on the lam for a while.
You can't, and so I appreciate Trump's description of the open borders policies as heartless, because I appreciate Tom Homan's consistent reminder that secure borders save lives. It's not about dollars. It's not about people from this country versus that country. It's about there has to be an orderly process with quality vetting so that people in this country are safe. Throwing open the doors the way that Biden administration did was heartless, was cruel, was dangerous, and it cost lives. And that message needs to be repeated, particularly in states that are lorded over by open borders politicians like, say, Illinois. We'll have one of them front and center today before the House Oversight Committee, the mayor of Chicago. Same goes in Wisconsin, not completely, but certainly Tony Evers fits that bill. So does Tammy Baldwin. Ron Johnson joins us now, Republican Senator from Wisconsin, of course. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Your sort of reviews of President Trump's remarks generally last night, and specifically to the border security issue, which I know has been an important one to you.
Well, again, I agree that it's really important that Americans understand that the open border was a choice. Democrats wanted an open border. They caused the problem. And as President Trump ably pointed out, we didn't need additional laws. Listen, Republicans would have been happy to strengthen a presidential authority to secure the border and keep Americans safe. Democrats weren't interested in that. But he's demonstrated that the president had more than enough authority to secure the border. He did it in his first term. President Biden used that same authority to open up the border, create this clear and present danger, create these catastrophes. He aided and abetted these rapes and these murders and all these crimes committed by the illegal immigrants that he let in this country. And then President Trump, again, used that presidential authority and remarkably, I mean, it's really breathtaking how quickly the border has become secure with just a new president, signaling the world that we don't have open borders. We're not going to let people in. And if you come in here illegally, you're going to be deported. So incredibly important. I mean, it was remarkable what sourpusses the Democrats were. I don't even know why they showed up. I mean, when you can't stand and applaud for a 95-year-old woman whose son was returned from Russia, for a 13-year-old boy who's been battling cancer and is now made an honorary member of the Secret Service. I mean, when you can't stand up and applaud for that, why even show up?
I know, because when Biden spoke, I remember the Republicans, with nonpartisan issues, they would stand up and applaud the person, not the political party. But it's so bad that MSNBC host Simone Sanders Townsend criticized Democrats for the stupid bingo signs that, look like auction paddles that they had. And even David Axelrod said, it's just unbecoming of the party. But this is the new Democratic Party, don't you think?
It is. And again, I want the American people to focus on their ideology, their policies. I mean, the fact that he had the one female volleyball player who had really serious brain injury because a biological male, pretending to be a woman, hit a volleyball so hard into her head that she suffered even partial paralysis. I mean, her injury is so severe. And yet Democrats support those policies. They want to expose our young women and girls to biological males in their locker rooms, in their showers, in their bathrooms, expose them to the competition, the grotesquely unfair competition. American people don't want that, and yet Democrats are clinging to that. Again, they literally are clueless. Their ideology is just blinding them to really how the American people oppose what they stand for now.
Yeah, I mean, it is, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I mean, when you can applaud that DJ Daniel kid, the whole thing just smacked of people that really don't like anything that is good about America, or anybody that represents what is good about America, unless they have pledged allegiance to, their party and its associated ideology. I mean, they're just really small and nasty in the direction of anybody who isn't in the fold.
Well, Obama set the tone for the party when he right before he got inaugurated. He said, in 5 days, we're going to fundamentally transform America. again, I always ask the question, do you even like, much less love something you want to fundamentally transform? And that's been the Democrats' problem. They so many of them truly do not like this country. Michelle Obama, was never proud of her country until her husband was nominated for president. The quality, the attribute that hundreds of thousands of people that attend Trump rallies have in common is they fervently love America. They support law enforcement. They are concerned about their fellow citizens. They want to make this country greater. They're proud of America. It's a big difference. And again, I'm grateful that at least more than 50% of Americans have their eyes open and love this country. We need to get more converts. We need more people understanding what the Democrats stand for, the destruction that they stand for, and join the ranks of people who love this country and want to make it better.
And also join the ranks of people who want to make peace, not war. That seems to be a struggle with that party these days, too. What is your take now that Zelensky posted yesterday in advance of Trump's speech that, he wants peace. Peace is possible. Let's get to the business of making peace. I'm ready to, engage. He really, without formally saying it, walking back what happened on Friday and then some of what he said subsequent to Friday. Should Trump now move to lift essentially the arms embargo to restore some military aid? Should he engage? Should he get Zelensky back to the White House to sign that mineral agreement and move forward from there? What's your advice and counsel?
Well, what happened on Friday was just unfortunate, and the only person who benefited from that was Putin. So my guess is Trump will very graciously accept Zelensky's turn here, his semi-apology. His now commitment to peace. By the way, what Trump is trying to do here, I think, is quite brilliant. You're not going to have both sides just set aside their hatred. I mean, there's just too many war crimes, too much death, too much destruction. But what you can do is you can focus on what benefits all parties. Economic agreements. A lot of these rare earth minerals are on the Russian side. My guess is Trump will try and do an agreement with both Russia and Ukraine for everybody's benefit, a win-win-win situation. That's how a business guy thinks. That's how Trump thinks. Let's do a deal. You don't have to love the guy that you're doing a deal with, but you can love peace. You can do everything you can to end a war, stop the bloodshed, stop the destruction. You can't end the hate, but you can at least have them, not express it by killing each other. So, no, I've been saying for a couple of years, I mean, this war has to end. I'm not going to like the end settlement. Nobody's going to like it. But every day that goes by where more killing, more destruction occurs, the settlement gets worse and worse because more people have died. So end the war, try and come up with something that's going to put people on a path to prevent war years and decades in the future.
I've been arguing that one of the things that Trump has done, with a lot of help, is he's moved the Overton window with respect to the cultural Marxism advanced by the identitarian left. So the a pushback on DEI, the ending of boys playing girls' sports, the declaration that wokeness is no more in America yesterday. Of course, that's not true. And you know that as well as we do because you have a governor who just redefined women in Wisconsin to be inseminated persons. So, the fight is still a pitched battle when it comes to what's going on even at the state and local level, including in Wisconsin, isn't it?
Well, I think the November election was kind of the emperor has no clothes moment, where you have all the Democrats, signing up to this just radical and crazy and insane ideology of, again, men and women's sports and mutilating children on the altar of transgenderism and all that stuff that America by and large rejects. And because the legacy and the corporate media carry the water for the Democrats, have been normalizing all this crazy ideology and behavior. It really, the November election was just sort of a wake-up moment going, hey, you guys, the emperor has no clothes. The American people reject that. And again, Donald Trump has led the charge on that. He's unabashedly common sense. It's just like he's willing to say it. I mean, other people have been afraid to say it because they know they'll be attacked by the legacy media. Donald Trump is completely unafraid, and he's that kid that just pointed out, hey, this is
why isn't there more pushback? I mean, I can't imagine any mom in Wisconsin wanting to be called an inseminated person. How insulting.
Well, there is pushback. And again, the reason there's not more of it is because the Democrats, the radical leftists, have the legacy and corporate media on their side. And so people are coming out of their shell now. They're realizing we can push back without being destroyed. We're not going to be ridiculed in the media. We're not going to be ridiculed by our neighbors. I mean, like, everybody's thinking the same thing. They're all seeing that the emperor is naked. And so now we can say it. So again, it really is that moment, and it's refreshing. I could not be more pleased with how bold, how decisive President Trump has been enacting his campaign promises, and the American people supporting it. Not all of them, not enough of them, quite honestly. These elections are still way too close. But if we succeed, if we govern and we honor those promises, hopefully we'll get more and more people on our side, and we can just defeat this radical leftism for good.
Well, I mean, speaking of this stuff and at the local level, in Wisconsin, you have an important state Supreme Court race again. Had one in 2023 that Republicans lost. That turns out to be a problem. And if Susan Crawford beats the former Wisconsin Attorney General in April 1st, cheeseheads go to the polls, Brad Schimmel, the Republican candidate for state Supreme Court, then you're in jeopardy of problems at both the local and state level, because you could get some Republican congressional seats gerrymandered into not such Republican seats, and with the slim majority in the House, this turns out to be a big deal. What sort of engagement do you have and handle do you have on what's going on at the state level in Wisconsin with this particular race and Wisconsin's tolerance for the antics of Tony Evers and the Democrats generally?
Well, I'm doing everything I can to get support for Brad Schimmel. So anybody listening here, donate. Trying to get all the national groups to understand this has national implications. As you said, this could cost us the majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, because they will redistrict, and we may lose a couple House seats. You may never get the 10 electoral votes for Wisconsin for a Republican candidate, as they jury-rig the election process here. So this has national implications, as well as it could continue Wisconsin down the path of Minnesota, where you got Tampon Tim there, putting tampon machines in boys' bathrooms. So we don't want to happen in Wisconsin what has happened in Minnesota or kind of the state of Illinois right now. We need to turn Wisconsin more red. We're a very purple state, and this is for all the marbles here. There's no reason that we can't turn out 1.3 million voters as opposed to 800,000 we did for Dan Kelly and win the seat. But we're going to need national help.
Ron Johnson, Republican senator from Wisconsin. We'll be talking more about that Wisconsin Supreme Court race, state Supreme Court race, in the coming days and weeks ahead of that April 1st election. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Stay well.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. In the aftermath of the fiery Oval Office meeting between Presidents Trump and Zelensky, one thing's clear. Zelensky simply isn't a fit or responsible leader of a small country that depends on the United States for its literal survival. Compare Zelensky's behavior to Benjamin Netanyahu's. The Biden administration demanded ceasefires, suspended arms shipments, and withheld weapons. The administration berated Israel constantly for collateral damage. In contrast, Zelensky's been celebrated across America and the entire West. Yet he still couldn't hide his obvious disdain for Trump or keep from behaving rudely to the president of his patron country in our White House. In his arrogance, Zelensky put his own sense of pride and entitlement above the lives and well-being of his people, who were being mindlessly slaughtered without a realistic path to victory. He's behaving like an egotist, and he's hurting his cause.
Honey, we're not moving, but we gotta do something about this kitchen.
Funny you mention it. I just stopped by Forever Remodeling's new showroom in Niles. I saw over a dozen kitchen and bathroom layouts they designed. They even offered to stop by the house and give us a free in-home design consultation.
What'd you tell them?
That we're free today?
Visit foreverremodeling.com today. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com. Forever Remodeling, stress-free and high-quality remodeling.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, just punctuating what we were talking about with Senator Johnson about the humorlessness and just general indecency of the left. Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, this was her reaction to the DJ Daniel moment during last night's speech where he was given the honorary Secret Service designation, and he high-fived the West Point cadet, and he just was having a great time.
Being a kid.
This kid who survived 13 brain surgeries and wants to be a cop. This was the commentary on it, because everything has to be political when you're an apparatchik like Nicole Wallace.
And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
Oh, that's sickening. What is wrong with her?
That's just
how they are. What is wrong with the left? They're that desperate now?
Give me a break. That's just how they are, which is why it's time for another installment of Why Dan Proft is Single.
Uh-oh.
In which, in part, on this installment coming up at 7:37, we'll explore why Ruffles are so raw. 7:37.
Okay. But now let's head into the newsroom. Nikki Whaley in once again for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump is defending his usage of tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China.
Tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country.
He goes on to say that tariffs will make the U.S. rich.
Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that.
In his address to a joint session of Congress, Trump said that the tariffs will protect American workers and create jobs. He said the tariffs are protecting America's soul. He said there'll be even more tariffs on April 2nd. Trump noted that he loves American farmers and says the tariffs will help them. Anti-Trump protesters gathered in Chicago last night. They held what they called a pro-democracy rally in the Loop before President Trump's address to Congress. The demonstration was organized by the League of Women Voters. News is delivered to you by a quick delivery service. Visit quickdelivery.com when you need same-day delivery of your roots. Ground delivery when you need it from safe, licensed professionals. Go to quickdelivery.com to schedule your delivery.
President Trump is moving at lightning speed.
Billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse.
Executive orders, new policies, promises kept. It's hard to keep up until now. Subscribe to the Trump Report. This email brings you daily highlights from the Oval Office right to your inbox 5 days a week.
The golden age of America begins right now.
It'll help you follow President Trump at the speed of Trump. Sign up today at 560theanswer.com/Trump.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect prevents any attempts to steal your home, equity, and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word HOME to 94878. That's right, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity Protect.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Taking a look at the roads from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
Route 53 in Romeoville at Greenwood Avenue, a flipped over vehicle there. Crash in Elgin on Randall at Higgins. Eisenhower inbound, it is stop and go. Still getting reports of a stalled car on the
Chicago's
This is on the left
morning
shoulder near Pulaski. Jane Addams to Congress, 50 minutes, 32 in from Wolf. Stevenson inbound at 43 minutes from 355 to DeSopo Lakeshore Drive. The Kennedy and the Eden slow in the usual spots. Dan Ryan inbound, 26 minutes from 95th into downtown. Traffic is a service of almostfreeteeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is over. If you have medical PPO insurance, you can find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify at almostfreeteeth.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a quick check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late, little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder, the high 50 today, but temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold, clouds this evening, flurries, then partly cloudy late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Forever Remodeling. Stress-free and high-quality remodeling. View their stunning transformations online at the number 4everremodeling.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Time now for another reason why Dan Proft is single.
Oh, where's the music bed? Boy, it just doesn't have the same kick without that. What?
Secret Garden.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
That's the song that is normally played when Dan Proft is single.
One of the reasons Dan Proft is single, new and updated, is something that I was not aware was occurring, which apparently is occurring. Transmaxing.
Oh my God! Do we really even need to know what that is?
Transmaxing. That's with 2 X's.
Oh.
So spell it correctly, lest you be accused of a hate crime.
Just Latino turn into Latinx or whatever.
Transmaxing. Sometimes it can feel there are many benefits to being a woman in 2025. Generation after generation are discovering that it's difficult to be a dude, increasingly so. Crushing weight of the manliness is too much to endure. So there is a movement afoot called transmaxing. The manifesto was written by the movement's anonymous Swedish leader, who still has a name. I guess it's a nom de plume. Vintologi. The Swedes have done it again. Vintologi, which interestingly, ironically, was the name of my ABBA tribute band in high school.
Vintologi.
Vintologi.
Yeah, common spelling. Okay.
We used to kill with Dancing Queen. Vintologi outlines how one of the biggest advantages of becoming a woman, because that's what transmaxing is, and pretending to be a woman, is, quote, the superiority of female aesthetics and how that can be used to extract resources from males. You can also, by the way, if you want to read the entire manifesto, I'm not going to read it here. You can get it at transmaxing forums on Reddit and elsewhere.
Yeah, I see there's a lot of transmaxing with 2 X's. Yes.
The transition to transmaxing gives men access to female spaces. Yeah, we've seen.
Yeah, we know. Get out of my bathroom.
Which are cleaner and generally more pleasant. And, for example, Sammy's a transmaxer. He appeared in a documentary, Transmaxer Life Uncovered, where he defined a man as dominant, successful, outgoing, confident, and resilient. None of those stereotypical attributes could be used to describe him before his transition. He went on to characterize his old life as slightly incel-esque and isolated. Embrace it. While he was never deemed what is considered a high-value man, he now reaps the benefits of being a woman for personal gain, including free meals and drinks from men.
And cheaper car insurance, because you men, for some reason, your insurance is higher than ours.
So now you have to worry about transmaxers out there in the general populace on dating apps and so forth, looking to extract resources from you the way that the authentic females do. Like this woman who was picked up in Las Vegas, Aurora Phelps, dual citizen of Mexico and the United States. She used online dating apps to lure at least 4 older men to meet her in person, drugged them with sedatives, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from them. And she's been actually charged in one of their deaths. She's in custody in Mexico, if indeed it is a she and not a transmaxer, faces 21 counts of wire fraud, identity theft, 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death. She kidnapped 1 victim, heavily sedating him, taking him across the Mexican border in a wheelchair, then to a Mexico City hotel room where he was later found dead. After incapacitating her victims, she stole their cars, withdrew money from their bank accounts, used their credit cards to purchase luxury items and gold, and even tried to access Social Security and retirement accounts.
Happens a lot in Vegas.
But I don't. The interesting thing is, I don't think the Aurora Phelpses of the world are going to appreciate the competition from the transmaxers.
Yeah, no.
So maybe there'll be a little cannibalization here going on. So you have
I always thought it'd
transmaxers.
be easier to be a man than a woman, but apparently this
Not anymore.
person, Sammy, thinks it's great. Cheaper car insurance, yeah.
Not anymore.
It's sugar daddies to pay for your meals. You think that's easy work, do you, Sammy?
Well, so there's that. There's that going on. There's the traditional Black Widow, like this Aurora Phelps. And then there's a whole transmaxer movement that is occurring. And then there's people like Melanie Davis. She hails from Polk County, Florida. That's where Sheriff Grady Judd is the sheriff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She had plans to hang out with a man that she met on a dating app, I believe. He made the mistake of canceling plans with her.
Uh-oh.
So she climbed a fence to his property. They're just going to hang out. So it's casual, no big deal.
Yeah.
So he had something come up, so he canceled plans. It was a big deal to her, though. She climbed a fence to his property, pushed through a door, began punching him. Then she grabbed a gardening hoe and hit him with it.
Hey-o.
The hoe with the hoe. Actually, she has a long history, but this is where you have to do background checks now, too, on
Before you go on a
women.
date. Oh, yeah, and you can do it.
To
Yeah.
find out if they're transmax, or also to look up their criminal history, because if this dude who got hoed would have done the background check, he would have found that she has a criminal history that dates back 30 years. She was first charged with battery at 19 years old. She was booked last March on charge with domestic violence against a person over the age of 65. This is the dating pool that's out there.
This is why you're single.
I'm just saying. And more about this dating pool. Researchers have found more than half of women in their early 30s are now having menopause symptoms.
Don't look at me.
In their 30s.
Maybe you're going through menopause. No, that happens. That's genetics too. Like some families, they
Half?
get menopause early. Now half are?
Well, researchers at Flow Health and the University of Virginia, perimenopause.
Yeah, perimenopausal. I've been there.
Wasn't perimenopause the front man for Erasure? Am I thinking of somebody else? Perimenopause sneaking up on women earlier than ever, sometimes a decade before menopause actually crashes the party, as they say.
Been there, brother.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the MRS, the menopause rating scale, as you know.
Yeah.
And the researchers, despite high symptom burden, younger women are far less likely to seek medical help for perimenopause.
Seek medical help. Just go through it.
Well, seeking medical advice.
Oh, okay.
A quarter of 30 to 35-year-olds, 40% of 30 to 36 to 40-year-olds were diagnosed as perimenopausal. And when you, I assume, I don't know if there's a direct connect, but I have a feeling when you're perimenopausal in your 30s, you wind up attacking your dates with garden hose in your 40s.
We might not be able to have children
When they
if you're
cancel plans.
perimenopausal.
Yeah.
In their 30s?
So perimenopausal 30-year-olds who turn into hoe-wielding 40-year-olds, some of whom may actually be dudes, is what you're looking at out there.
Have you ever... I have a friend who thought he was on a date with a woman.
Until she was standing next to him in the bathroom at the urinal?
Oh, it was not. I had to go pick him up.
Pick him up?
From the bar.
What, did he get the...
This is before Uber and,
Did he get the stuffing kicked out of him or something?
He was just in shock and, I'll never forget that call I got. The girl you just met, because we were all playing pool together.
How did that call go?
He's saying, you need to come and get me. She's a he. She's a he. I'm like, just stay there. I'll come and get you and I'll take you
Are
home.
you sure you just weren't watching the crying game?
No, I was not watching.
All right, this actually happened. And so...
Yeah, it happens more than...
Was he crying?
You know. He was shaking. It was because they made out. So he's like, I just made out with a dude, but I didn't know. I thought it was a woman. I'm like, it's okay.
How did he find out?
He found out by grabbing the hidden region, okay?
Well,
that'll
maybe next time you save a little room for the Holy Spirit and you don't wind up with a surprise.
So bad. But I met this person and I thought that she was a she too. Very deceiving. I just think you should full disclosure. Like if you're transexing or whatever, you should just.
Was that
own
she like a 6'4" former Olympic decathlete by any chance? I mean, no.
Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Apparently worked at the Kit Kat Club.
Meow, meow. You sure it was the Baton Club? And that guy is now a transmaxer?
He's not. He's fine.
Uh-huh.
No names shall be spoken. Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Is he a never nude now? What does
that mean?
Tobias on Arrested Development. Like he has to take showers with macrame jean shorts on or something. Is there any post-traumatic stress?
No, he got over it. Yeah.
He did? He get married?
Yeah, and his kids. He's fine. Yeah.
To a woman?
Yes, Dan.
All right.
Thank
Just checking. Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, Dan, I find it very offensive you're calling this menopause. It has the word men in it.
Oh, that's right.
You got to be a little more sensitive to people like me, okay?
Yeah.
Well, were we supposed to go womanopause? No, it's always been menopause.
We're spelling it with a Y, though. Just like you spell women with a Y.
What was Jan Schakowsky all up in arms about? Not menopause, but something else.
Jan Schakowsky? She's up in arms about everything.
Yeah, no, about a congresswoman. No. Does anybody remember? Remember, it was last week. She spoke before a committee hearing, and she embarrassed herself completely about trying to change her world.
Oh yeah, manufacturing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. That's why women don't go into manufacturing because
it's
called manufacturing. It's
instead of womanfacturing.
Transmaxuring.
Right.
Maybe. Also,
Thank you for that.
This survey too. So even like the actual women that are not transmaxers, that are not black widows, that are not perimenopausal, then you still have to worry about them just being, generally distasteful. Now, there is some good news here. A recently published report from the American Family Survey. Only 12% of leftist women are completely satisfied with their lives. They're just angry. I mean, this is the Raffles, rich, angry, white leftist females. They're just, or awfuls.
Just 12%. There's 12%.
These leftist honky women are just angry, distasteful, disagreeable types. And they're all over the place.
Oh, trust me, you don't have to tell me, sister.
Two factors accounted for the roughly half of the gap between liberal and conservative women. So more than a quarter of conservative women were satisfied with their lives. But even that, the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah.
Conservative women, they're still like,
what?
They're still gonna be busting your chops endlessly. They're still like, what you're not doing.
That's just women in general.
The grievance du jour. How you fail them this time. It's like being lectured to by a politician. It's not what they've done. It's how you fail them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's how you.
Wow, this is really, we're getting into something here.
Well,
folks. Why Dan Proft is single? No, please go on.
I'm following the science and the data here.
Yeah, go, Dr. Fauci, go on.
Two factors accounted for that half of the gap between liberal and conservative women: church attendance and marriage. The gap between liberals and conservatives seems to flow from the fact that liberal young women are less likely to be integrated into core American institutions, marriage and religion, that lend meaning, direction, and a sense of solidarity in women's lives. Yeah, but what are you supposed to do about single guys? So they're married so we're talking about single women. That's the single women is the problem. Conservatives, as we've talked about before, show higher mental and physical well-being than liberals across the board, including among women. And it's not just in the U.S. A recent study in Finland showed that conservative mental health advantage held even when accounting for potential measurement bias. And two studies in Australia showed conservatives engaging in healthier physical behaviors than liberals. And, because conservatives are just more well-adjusted, more realistic about the world, more productive. And they tend to be more religious, so that helps too.
Yeah. The left, their religion is government.
Yeah.
Some of them.
And amazingly, they just find it so unsatisfying. So, I mean, that's nothing new.
Be
but
satisfied with Pritzker?
It bears repeating, but it hardly makes up for all of these other dynamics, these variables that really are stacked against anybody who doesn't want to go the trans-max direction. Yeah. So, since I won't entertain black widows or trans-maxers, that's one of the reasons why Dan Proft is single.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock, all day, every day, including daily replays of Chicago's Morning Answer on Dan and Amy 24/7. Listen now at danandamy247.com.
MyPillow is excited to announce that they're having the first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 30% on their brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get the 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard MyPillow, just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship has sailed because right now every order ships absolutely free. MyPillow.com, promo code LIBERTY.
Text message. Dan and Amy, I told my 24-year-old son to only date conservative women.
Yeah.
He's dating a woman he met at church. However, I still worry about him because most young women are insane today.
Exactly. No, exactly. Also this, maybe perimenopause is why chicks are getting prickly about first date locales. We talked about yesterday with Carol Roth. Right. So they're all perimenopausal, and then you can't just go to a bar and have a couple of cocktails. You got to take them to some CNBC eatery and pay $80 for a 6-ounce filet.
Yeah.
And sit there and listen to them prattle on for 2 hours.
Okay, wow.
You know?
Where would you take somebody on a first date in Florida?
Well, I mean, I just put them in the grill room while I play golf, and then we'll have a cocktail afterwards, and then we'll
part ways.
Yeah. Just wait for me here. I'll be back.
If you're hungry, have some of the snacks.
Yeah, just put on my
you
account.
can eat snacks.
I mean, that's I'm charity.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't you golf with them? Would you ever go on a golf
because I want to enjoy golf.
Oh my God, you're so rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
Yeah, I mean, I just the whole thing. Yeah, the whole and then you take conservative women. Oh, that's easy to say, but college educated, but it's like 60% of the undergrads and in most postgraduate degrees are women, and they're these barnyard animals like we profiled at Barnard College. They're screeching about things they don't understand and screaming shame at their dean and just losing their minds.
There's no hope for this right now.
I mean, this is like, might as well buy a lottery ticket.
Deborah's calling from Arlington Heights, but I don't know if you want to take it.
Oh. Now I'm going to get lectured. Get scolded again. It's really going to help. Deborah in Arlington Heights.
Hi, Dan. I think that you need to look at this a little differently. Like, men possess certain gifts and women possess certain gifts. And I'm going to give a shout out for conservative women because I am one. But you just need to understand that we have the gift of knowing better than you do about things, and you just need to listen to us, and then everything will be fine.
Wow.
Yes. No, I know. You just right. Complete abject surrender is required. But that's fine to some extent. I get that. But then when it becomes like guilt trips about playing golf.
No.
Or like hanging out with friends and you're not invited. and stuff like that.
I know.
And
I hate needy people.
And then like the endless series of questions that are accusations presented in question form. I mean, I've seen all the tricks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And the need to fill out a bunch of paperwork about your day.
Now I'm starting to understand why Dan Proft is single.
Yeah, and probably should be. All right, so this is a relevant part of the larger conversation.
Really?
Yeah. If you're often feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, it could just be you just giving up. It could also be low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out your numbers by contacting my friends at Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you get your results back right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. They're health providers specializing in treating low T with personalized treatment, with personalized testosterone replacement therapy, that is. TRT is what they call it, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and this is super important. Their treatment plans are optimized for each patient. They're not just basic standard dosage treatments. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So get back to your best this year. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today and tell them Dan Proft sent you when you do. That's lowtcenter.com. Lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. One other thing.
Yes.
Last night, before I forget. After the event, this young dude from Barrington, I think he's 19 years old. He's called in the show a couple times. We were talking for a bit, and he was telling me how much he likes the Why Dan Proft is Single segment.
Oh, good.
So now in 19, I'm providing mentorship, boy. but he likes it because this old man is speaking to his travails, to the young man's travails, even though he comes from a Tony community and he's well educated and he was very affable. And even he is saying, what the hell's going on?
All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:08, we'll talk to our friend Bob Woodson. We have an incredible story out of Hartford. It's Dexter Manley Redux. And we'll start there with Bob Woodson at 8:08.
Okay. Today it's going to be, Dan, this is perfect for you. Being from Florida, it's 51 degrees right now, but it's going to rain. But guess what we're going to have by this afternoon just for you? Yes. We're going to have snow. It's going to drop to 31 degrees.
Yeah, winter wonderland.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, did you even bring a winter coat with you, by the way?
I don't have a winter coat.
You don't?
I don't.
Did you ever have one?
I did. It got washed away in the Hurricane Ian. And I have no reason to get one because I'm never coming back.
Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, a high of 40. It is now 8 a.m. WIND Chicago.
An accused ISIS terrorist is due in court today in Virginia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Linked to the 2021 bombing during the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan that killed 13 American troops. President Trump broke the news during his address to Congress.
Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity.
CIA Director John Ratcliffe tells Fox Business.
We worked with Pakistani intelligence.
And he was there when that suspect, Mohammed Sharifullah, arrived late last night.
To face justice.
Days after President Trump's confrontation with Ukraine's leader in talks to stop the war with Russia, the president, during last night's address, read a letter he got from Volodymyr Zelensky.
The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer.
The administration paused all military aid to Ukraine this week, saying that the Ukrainians need to get serious about what it will take to achieve peace. Yesterday, Zelensky outlined some first steps in what the beginnings of a ceasefire might look like.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Now back to the president last night and touted what he'd done since returning to the White House.
We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Republicans cheered, but not Democrats. They booed at times. Some held up anti-Trump signs. Congressman Al Green stood up and shouted at the president.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Then House Speaker Mike Johnson had Green removed, prompting the president to say,
I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy.
In the Democratic response, Senator Lissa Slotkin said the president's being reckless with tariffs and DOGE-led cutbacks, warning of a recession and...
Your premiums and prescriptions will cost more because the math on his proposals doesn't work without going after your health care.
America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump is touting his crackdown on illegals. During his joint address to Congress, Trump said he's launched the most sweeping border crackdown in American history.
Illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
He said that they've achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Trump says illegals heard his words and chose not to come. He also called Joe Biden the worst president in American history based on what Trump said were hundreds of thousands of illegal border crossings a month. A pedestrian's hospitalized in critical but stable condition after being struck by a Cook County Sheriff's squad car in north suburban Glenview. The incident happened Tuesday morning in the 9800 block of Milwaukee Avenue. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Anyone with any information is urged to contact the Glenview Police Department tip line. Chicago celebrated its 188th birthday yesterday. All this week, one of the city's landmarks is offering free admission. And dates are set for this summer's Lollapalooza in Chicago. The annual music festival is being held July 31st through August 3rd in Grant Park. This year's lineup is expected to be released sometime this month. The event draws hundreds of thousands of people to the lakefront for dozens of performances on multiple stages. News is a service of Salem Surround, providing your business with the industry-leading digital marketing strategy designed to surround your target audience and drive action. Go to surroundchicago.com today. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes, but now time for the Signature Bank Business Beat.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are higher on speculation of a possible compromise on tariffs. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the administration's working on a deal to reduce tariffs on Canada and Mexico, not eliminating them, but modifying tariffs somewhat. Though President Trump has not indicated he plans to roll back the tariffs that went into effect yesterday. Goldman Sachs is preparing more staff cuts. The Wall Street Journal says its vice presidents are being targeted. Goldman CEO David Solomon has told senior executives the firm hired too many vice presidents in recent years. Walmart is selling its investment in Japanese supermarket chain Seiyu. Both Walmart and investment firm KKR own the business together. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jimmy Coselda. Invested in you.
You can hear this today at PreggerTopia.com.
Very, 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 very different topic today, and it's the transgender issue. So I posed a question, and I don't know the answer. If you really do become a man, you take on male traits. Does this actually happen?
Hear the entire episode. It's for Preggertopia members only. Go to PreggerTopia.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard with a qualifying plan. You can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250, you say the keywords Pure Talk, claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry!
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it.
Woo!
Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
President Trump has made some pretty amazing claims since he's taken his seat as president. He's delivering on what he promised. On Inauguration Day, Trump's very first declaration was,
"The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish."
Consider this. Since the election, gold has shot up hundreds of dollars per ounce, shattering all-time record highs. Fox Valley Coins does not pretend to know the future, but they do know that if you're buying or selling gold or silver, they are the place to do it. These are some of the top reasons people choose a dealer. You want a national dealer with a local presence you can deal with face-to-face. You want a large selection, the best prices, and great service. You want to walk in with cash and walk out with the best product. You want to deal with legacy dealers with integrity. Whether buying or selling or just one valuation, Fox Valley Coins is your answer for choosing a dealer. Visit Fox Valley Coins, 1 light north of I-88 on Route 59 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. FoxValleyCoins.com. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
From the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
Route 53 in Romeoville at Greenwood Avenue, flipped over car. Crash in Elgin at Randall at Higgins. The Eisenhower, that is stop and go inbound. Still getting reports of a stalled car off to that left shoulder. Stevenson inbound at 40 minutes from the Veterans to DeSapa Lakeshore Drive. The Kennedy and Edens, they're pretty good. Not too bad. Traffic is a service of almostfreeteeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is over. If you have medical PPO insurance, find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify at almostfreeteeth.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late, little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder. The high 50 today, but temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold. Clouds this evening. Flurries, then partly cloudy. Late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow, the high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig and Leslie Bolanos Sunday mornings at 10. Learn more at investwithwmg.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Remember when NFL standout defensive tackle Dexter Manley testified before Congress that after 4 years of attending Oklahoma State, he couldn't read? Mm-hmm. He was functionally illiterate. It was sort of shocking. You know, of course, people knew that athletes got special treatment when it came to being passed along in high school and even in college. But Manley, who was high profile at the time, being illiterate was shocking to many. I wish people would still have the ability to be shocked by like the NAEP scores that came out a couple weeks ago that we've talked about quite a bit. As somebody observed on X, if you work for the Department of Education and are posting on Twitter about how angry you are about losing your job, please realize only 27% of the school-aged children between 4th and 12th grade will be able to read it. Not that it's the Federal Department of Education's job, but it speaks to the general failure of government education in this country, which people don't want to talk about because, oh my gosh, yeah, it's like they're congressmen. Congress is terrible, but not my congressman. Oh, the schools are terrible, but not my local government school, even though more likely than not, it's pretty bad, if not terrible, including in the suburbs, which we talk about all the time, but people don't want to confront that. Naperville Central, Hinsdale Central, New Trier, Barrington. There's the same schools that I went to 30 and 40 years ago. No, they're not. And they're not producing anywhere near the same results at exponentially more per student expenditure. We have another story like this, unfortunately, like the Dexter Manley story. It's immediately what I thought of when I read this story about what happened in Hartford, Connecticut, that is. When 19-year-old Alicia Ortiz told Hartford City Council members in May that the public school system stole her education, she had to memorize her speech. That's because she was never taught to read or write, despite attending schools in Hartford since she was 6. Now 19. Or that 19, this comes from a few months back. Ortiz, who came to Hartford from Puerto Rico with her family, was young. When she was young, struggled with language and other challenges along the way. But a confluence of circumstances, apparently apathy and institutional inertia, pushed her haphazardly through the school system, according to her attorney and district officials. She's suing the school district. Boy, what a precedent-setting case this could be. If you could sue school districts for failing to provide you even the opportunity to earn a quality education, well, that may be the only way to get structural change in some of these huge government school systems, like, say, I don't know, Chicago. I was pushed through. I was moved from class to class, not being taught anything, Ortiz told the Connecticut Mirror during a series of interviews. They stole something from me. I wanted to do more, and I didn't have a chance to do that. She had an IEP. Individual education plan. Ortiz was not taught how to tell time or how to count money. She can barely hold a pencil because of unaddressed issues with hand fatigue and disputes about school-based occupational therapy. She learned basic math like addition, but has no other math skills. She's 19.
Oh, it's horrible.
Accommodations in her IEP, which spell out what services students will receive that year, allowed her to audio record classes and meetings with school leadership because of her inability to read or write in high school. Yeah, don't address the inability to read or write with this high school freshman sitting before you. Just let her record the classes. In my review of Alicia's IEP, she was never provided reading instruction, according to a special ed administrator for the district. She said, Alicia Ortiz, she said also she was unlawfully restrained, spent months in classrooms without a special education teacher or paraeducators, and was ridiculed by on-trained staff who would laugh at her.
What?
Since first grade, she said teachers, school leaders, and district administrators failed her. People didn't forget about me. No, people chose not to educate me. People chose not to change my IEP. People chose not to do this and this and that and this and that. I'm the one paying the consequences while those people are still getting their checks. Yeah, she's figuring out how it works. Basically, in high school, these are her words. Basically, in high school, I would go to class, I would record and try to memorize everything the teacher said and what I wanted to write. Then when I went home, I would stay and hear the recordings. I basically went to school 2 times in one day. I wanted to join clubs, but I couldn't do that because I didn't have the time. To this day, I've never been out to a movie theater with friends ever. I didn't have time to have fun. It was either enjoy myself or fail my classes. And maybe if I was more ahead in reading or writing, I would have had time to make friends. And, these stories that bubble up, like, you remember the story that a local network affiliate did in Baltimore a few years ago, where no one in these Baltimore schools was at grade level in reading and math. And the test scores, one kid was basically in the same position as this Aisha Ortiz in Hartford. It was just passed through and through and through until his mom finally figured out what was going on or what was not going on, meaning his education, and She sued the school district, raised a big stink about it. So there's an expose. Everybody concedes that the government schools in particular areas are terrible. Thank God I don't have to send my kids there. They pretend the government schools in the wealthier areas are actually good schools, which they're not. And we just go round and round and round, and then we're stunned to the extent that we have the gumption to pay attention when less than a third of kids 4th to 12th grade are reading at grade level nationally in a system of 50 million kids. It's a big problem. Huge problem.
Beautiful lies.
For more on this and related matters, please be joined by our friend Bob Woodson, founder and president of the Woodson Center, author of A Pathway to American Renewal, Red, White, and Black, Volume 2. Bob, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, as always. Thank you.
Well, the story out of Hartford that I was just referencing called to mind your friend and a gentleman I had the opportunity to meet with at a Woodson Center event, Brother Carl Hendrick. Carl Hardrick, Brother Carl out of Hartford, Connecticut, one of the sort of the Woodson ambassadors on the ground in Hartford, and the work that he does at the local level. But I mean, it just speaks to the mission field of the Woodson Center and all your allies around the country, and sort of the institutional neglect they're up against, doesn't it?
It really does. But I was just thinking of one of the alternatives, and I remember many years ago, Eastside Academy with Marva Collins right there in Chicago.
Yeah.
How a public school teacher, broke ranks and started teaching kids after school. And she got so effective, she started Eastside Academy. And she was attacked by her public school peers because she was breaking the bell-shaped curve. She was actually teaching kids. But she was attacked and had to struggle. And it was only when she was able to demonstrate that she took kids who were failing the Chicago school system, but they were achieving in her class, and she became so effective that white parents were bringing their children in to her school. In Jaime Escalante in L.A., same thing. But there are no Marva Collins Eastside Academy institutions today. There's no Jaime Escalante. We don't have any monuments. No one was able to build on that success because they were resisted by the conventional school systems. And that's what we've got to fight for, what Corey Brooks is doing and others, that there are alternative institutions within Hartford, Connecticut. We've supported groups in Hartford and others that have demonstrated that they can take kids that the public system has failed, and they can educate them. The program that we support at the Pineywood School, a residential school in Pineywood, Mississippi, for 115 years of taking kids from today who are from Baltimore and others, and these kids are in residence there, 2,000-acre campus on a farm. All of the kids are from low-income, low-performing schools. 100% go on to college with 3 scholarships each. So it's been demonstrated that it isn't a lack of capacity on the part of the children, but it is a failure of the institutions that injure with the helping hand.
Yeah, right. That injure with the helping hand. It's a great line. Right. We still have that today in Chicago. Like when you mentioned Corey Brooks, but also Bob Mazakowski's Chicago Hope Academy. But as you suggest, we can go city by city, and you're going to find a couple of these one-offs, but they're one-offs. They're not at scale. They can't accommodate 300,000 kids like the system demands in Chicago, for example.
Okay, but let me say this to you. If the Democrats can raise and Republicans can raise $1 billion in 3 months and spend it, you mean to tell me we don't have the resources in this country to resource these schools? That's why what the Woodson Center is doing is we're establishing a $50 million Joseph Fund so that when we do have institutions in these communities, we can help them to close the gap between what they're capable of doing and what their afford to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it a priority.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I mean, I don't know. There's maybe it's just that there's a belief that with the expansion of school choice around the country and more than half the states now school choice programs, and what President Trump may be proposing to do with Department of Education funds, that sort of addresses the competition and opportunity question, but clearly it doesn't, and not even close.
No, but I just think when I look at the amount of money that conservatives we spend on think tanks, the amount of money that we spend in opposition to what the left is doing, perhaps one of the ways that we can express our opposition to what the left is doing is to invest in institutions within low-income communities that are run by these young Josephs, and invest to take them as seriously as we do an election.
Yeah.
Maybe, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm meeting with some people, high net worth individuals, to say, if you believe in this country, the kind of examples of people that Trump highlighted in his speech, there are institutions within low-income communities are producing these dramatic transformation and examples of redemption every day. We just need to go to a city, bring 5 of these groups together, and invest in them the way we would a think tank, the way we would a political campaign. Just think about all of the candidates who ran in the Republican primary, how many millions each of them raised. Well, why can't we pay the same attention to these institutions that are generating transformations within these communities? We just have to take it seriously. We're not.
I wanted you to tell you, I saw you tweeted this out about a young man from Purdue who drove 13 hours to attend an event that you put on, a Pathway to American Renewal event. Just to tell this, sort of what Trump was doing yesterday, tell stories that illustrate a larger point. This seems to be one of them. Yeah,
people are, when conservatives concentrate on the opposition to big government and lower taxes, and they come across as small-souled bookkeepers. But because Americans have a desire for a larger vision, and what Trump did by highlighting these people who overcome great odds and are achieving against the odds, that's what can inspire America. You give people an opportunity to support victories that are possible, and there are, and that's what I was so pleased that the president did that, because we need to institutionalize that approach. Not just make it an episode in life, but let's find out in these how many more examples are in these communities. And I'd like to know more about some of the institutions in those communities that help that dad, that help that young man, those young men, to achieve against the odds. I'm sure they have families and they've got institutions within there that I don't think they did it alone. But the qualities that make these grassroots leaders effective makes them invisible, Dan, because they're not protesting and whining and complaining.
Right.
And we have to be intentional about recognizing their very valuable importance when you're opposed to what the left is doing. Rather than having some white conservatives express that opposition, what would happen if we had 50 black folks saying we are against DEI because this is the detrimental effect it's having in our lives and how it's destroying our communities? Just think about the messaging on that, how different it would be if you had that as a strategy to push back against what the left is doing.
What did that? I mean, I'm just curious. What did that dude from Purdue say to you? I mean, what motivated him?
Helen, this young man. He's a sophomore at Purdue, and I was having an event at Cape Charles, Virginia, a book re-signing. This young man drove 13 miles. 13 hours. Yeah. He drove 13 hours so he could attend the event because he had read my books and saw some of my interviews. And I asked him about him. I had him come up and speak, and I asked him, and he was going to drive right back because he says, I'm going to rest at a relative's house for 4 hours, and then because I've got class the next morning. He's a single-parent mom who's sick with some physical illness, but he is working 36 hours a week and going full-time at Purdue. He says, I have middle-class black friends who are from two-parent households who are wealthy by my standards, yet they're complaining about racism. But I want to know more about self-determination by those who achieved in the past, and that's why that I came. And so we are embracing him and supporting him, and I'm connecting him with some of my grassroots organizations in Indianapolis. But Jalen is an example of the thirst that some of these young people have for competent, inspirational models of achievement and self-determination. And so we're going to be working with him, hopefully, so we can reach other young people of his generation who are isolated because they're always surrounded by negative tribalism. But so we believe that there's a group out there like Jalen who is thirsting for information and support.
Bob, what?
I took all the cash out of my pocket and gave it to him and said, "Here, buy some gas."
Oh, that's nice of you.
That's good.
And I'm glad you're still in contact with him. That's important.
Yeah.
Well, I just talked to him yesterday, and I'm going to do what Trump did to those young men. I'm going to hold him up. I'm going to write up a column about him. We're going to promote Jalen.
Well, there you go. And then when he gets out of Purdue, probably with an engineering degree, then he'll become a Woodson Center donor. So it's smart. Good investment. Bob Woodson is the founder and president of the Woodson Center, woodsоncenter.org, if you want to be supportive. He's also the author of the book, A Pathway to American Renewal, Red, White, and Black, Volume 2. Bob, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Virago is fending off viruses and making America healthy again.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Huber. I'm one of the co-founders of Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail. Virago contains 23 natural ingredients that work synergistically to boost your immune system. Virago's natural ingredients also protect your heart, your brain, and your liver through its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Virago also promotes healthy gum health. So go to myvirago.com, that's MyVirogo.com, and use promo code IMMUNE to get 30% off. And remember, Maha starts with Virago.
Boost your immune system with Virago. Order your bottle today. Visit myvirago.com. That's myVirogo.com.
And use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%.
That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
Make yourself healthy again, too. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. And if you're having chronic pain in your knees, your hips, your back, your elbows, your shoulders, and you don't want to get surgery and you're sick of those cortisone shots, then why don't you make an appointment, a free consultation with our good friends at QC Kinetics. They'll walk you through the whole process of regenerative medicine, show you how it works, and let you know if you're a good candidate for QC Kinetics. They're not going to mess around with you. But if you're having trouble walking because of pain, because of arthritis or an injury, or if you're having trouble sleeping at night due to pain, walking around, day-to-day movement, don't live like this anymore. Call our good friends at QC Kinetics. The number is 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. Again, that's 312-809-5955.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll hear what Trump's message was about transing children last night, because it was a global message that transcends the trans issue. We'll talk to Kurt Wiggins, president of the Caring Network, at 8:38. Stay tuned for that.
And how you can help. But now let's head into the newsroom. Nikki Whaley in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 The Answer newsroom. I'm Nikki Whaley. President Trump says he'll fight inflation by rapidly reducing energy costs. The president criticized the Biden administration, saying it'll cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
He said that President Biden halted pipeline construction and closed more than 100 power plants. To counter, Trump says he's working on a gigantic national gas pipeline in Alaska, and that Japan, South Korea, and other nations will be spending trillions of dollars on Americans' partners. Trump says he'll dramatically expand production of critical rare earth minerals in the U.S. A student is wounded after being shot while walking to school on the south side. Police say the 15-year-old girl was walking yesterday morning outside of Perspective Leadership Academy in the 8500 block of South Lafayette Avenue when somebody in a vehicle opened fire. The teen suffered a gunshot wound to her left thigh and was taken to the hospital in fair condition. No one has been arrested. News is a service of Air Right Heating and Cooling, offering AM 560 listeners $56 off of any service, including inspections, or take advantage of limited-time federal rebates on a new furnace. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
That shot was money, Lisa. Hey, speaking of, did you ever figure out what to do with your parents' old coin collection?
Not yet. I need a reputable dealer to appraise them. I have no clue what they're worth.
I just finished working on my dad's estate collections. I took it all to Fox Valley Coins. Their customer service was the best. Plus, they're super honest and reputable, but most importantly, experienced. They'll give you the best prices.
Really? They handle estate collections?
Absolutely. Buying, selling, appraising, they do it all. It was quick and simple, and we maintained our privacy. Fox Valley Coins made the whole process easy.
That's exactly what I need. Are they local?
Right in Naperville. They have an easy website to remember. FoxValleyCoins.com.
Perfect. Now let's see if you can return this shot.
Whether buying or selling or just want valuation, Fox Valley Coins is your trusted gold and silver dealer. Visit Fox Valley Coins, 1 light north of I-88 on Route 59 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. FoxValleyCoins.com. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Bridget, first-time home buyer, posted this 5-star review about her mortgage experience. Team Hochberg made one of the biggest and nerve-wracking milestones in our life such an enjoyable experience. David and Anna talked us through every step in our home buying journey with a very tight timeline and made us feel comfortable every step of the way. We put in an offer at the beginning of November, and with Team Hochberg's help and expertise, we're able to close on our home by the end of the same Team Month. I couldn't say better things about them and our experience. Team Hochberg all the way. Thank you, Bridget. If you'd like this type of 5-star service on your next mortgage, call Team Hochberg now at 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number one more time and that website you love, 855-563-2843, and go to 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061.
You never want to miss one of life's most important moments. A graduation, a birthday, a first communion, a wedding. When these moments happen, you want to make sure to capture them so that you and your loved ones can remember them for years to come. For over 30 years, families have relied on Tom Kaloran Photography to capture important life moments. This locally owned family business can provide the solutions you need for your important event photography, from weddings and birthdays to class reunions and golf outings. No matter the size or scope, Tom Kaloran Photography will make sure you have lasting memories to share for years to come. Tom Kaloran Photography is also the official photographer for AM 560 The Answer. To learn more and to see their portfolio, just visit KaloranPhotography.com. That's KILLORAN Photography.com. Or call them at 708-361-0025. Tom Kaloran Photography, capturing important life moments for over 30 years.
From the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Joanne Jeanette.
Overturned vehicle in Romeoville on Route 53 at Greenwood, Lake County, I-65 north at I-80-94. You do have a collision at the off-ramp. Stop and go back at 61st. You've got crews and an ambulance still there on the scene. The Kennedy inbound, 45 minutes O'Hare into downtown. Outbound set of the Kennedy, 48. The Eisenhower in stop and go. It's running an hour from Jane Addams to Congress. This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guarantee. And new customers get $100 to switch, so don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with the experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now checking your forecast from the National Weather Service.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Wind and rain, some snow late. Little or no accumulation. Could be a rumble of thunder. The high 50 today, with temperatures falling into the 30s. Windy and cold. Clouds this evening. Flurries, then partly cloudy. Late tonight, low 26. Sunny, breezy day tomorrow. The high 43. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Several signature lines from Trump's address to the joint session of Congress last night. We've talked about them over the last few hours. America's back. Didn't need new legislation. We just need a new president to secure the border. But also this statement that he made, which is applicable beyond the issue in which he made it. The idea of how we view children.
And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Yeah, that's a big one. And that would include, I would say, and I think Trump would agree, and Vance would agree, children in the womb, too. It's funny because at our, not haha funny, just interesting, timely, that at our watch party yesterday, at the Meridian Banquet Hall in Rolling Meadows, Nancy Gianni was there from Gigi's Playhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And Gigi, her daughter, who's the inspiration for Gigi's Playhouse,
yes.
Is going to do a PowerPoint presentation on individuals with Down syndrome before the UN on International Down Syndrome Day, which is March 21st.
Oh, good. We're going to have to
Yeah.
Watch that.
So,
and play it the next morning for you folks.
But the idea is like, basically having to tell the international community, such as it is, why Gigi has a right to live.
Because there's certain countries where if they do a prenatal test and they find out you have Down syndrome, they want to abort the child.
Yeah, well,
immediately.
Including in this country
for
the most part. And it's not as bad as some of the Scandinavian countries, but it's not good. Which is a perfect segue to our next guest. Kurt Wiggins is the president of the Caring Network. And we here at AM 560 are doing a joint effort with the Caring Network to raise $20,000 to support the Caring Network's mission to reach abortion-minded women first and equip them to choose life by providing them with nurses, ultrasounds, pregnancy counselors, and support while sharing the gospel and praying with the women they serve. So, trying to provide women with information to consider the decision they will make. Kurt Wiggins, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Dan and Amy.
So give us some background on the Caring Network and what you guys do and what sort of success you found. And by the way, I forgot about this, but our friend Doug Truax ran for office before. Now he's with Restoration America, is your board chair. So just
Correct.
In terms of Truax has some public profile. So
Yep.
Interesting connect there. But anyway, the Caring Network.
Yeah, so it started in 1981 in DuPage County, just a group of volunteers that got together. Roe versus Wade was in force, and so they said, how do we help women with unexpected pregnancies? Got started with, they'd pass out cards, then they'd ring in a mechanic's garage, and then volunteers would meet with these women in a McDonald's or a coffee shop. And so it grew from volunteers to now we have, in DuPage County, we've got 6 women's clinics. Then we've got another in Aurora, and then we're opening 5 more in the city of Chicago in the most difficult places where abortion's escalating in African-American, Latino, low-income communities. And so I got involved 5 years ago, and looking at in 2018, 42,000 abortions in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
It grew up in 2022 to 56,000 abortions in Illinois. And then Dobbs overturned Roe, and the year after that, over 90,000 abortions in Illinois in 2023. And so looking at that and saying, okay, there's 106 pregnancy resource centers in Illinois and 32 abortion facilities. So pregnancy resource centers outnumber abortion facilities more than 3 to 1. And I looked at it and say, then why are we losing at such an exponential rate? What's the problem, right? And so as I dug into that more, realized that pregnancy resource centers are doing a really great job, but majority of them are reaching abortion vulnerable women is what we call them, women that get pregnant unexpectedly. If they just had resources, material goods, they'd choose life for the baby. That's important and great work to do. The abortion-minded woman is the woman who gets pregnant unexpectedly, and she's going to go to Planned Parenthood tomorrow to have an abortion. And that's the woman that a Caring Network is uniquely equipped to serve and to reach in terms, when I dug into it in terms of our work, between 2010 and 2020, we grew from 3 to 6 women's clinics in DuPage County. During that time, we saw abortions drop by 40% in DuPage County, and we saw 2 of the 4 abortion facilities shut down. We believe God used us to help make that happen. The average decline across any other county was 5% at best. So seeing that said, we're going to put a plan together to scale to be able to start 25 new clinics in the most strategic places across the state of Illinois to serve more abortion-minded women, save more lives, and to take market share from Planned Parenthood and to shut them down.
But walk us through the process. How do you reach those abortion-minded women?
Yeah, so women are searching on their phone, abortion near me.
Okay.
She gets pregnant unexpectedly. She searched on her phone. And so coming up in that top of that feed when she searches, we want to be at the top. And so that's digital marketing, right? You have to be able to be effective and to connect. And it's cross-cultural marketing because, the abortion-minded woman is in a different situation, different set of circumstances than, most of us. We get in a crisis, we've got a support network. She doesn't typically have that. So reaching her first through digital marketing, and then she connects into goes to our website, clicks through. We have a call center and then telehealth nurses that are on call right now, so that then she can talk to them. have a telehealth appointment virtually right away, and then from there schedule into a brick and mortar location, one of our clinics, where she'll have confirm she's pregnant, have an ultrasound exam, have an assessment, social, emotional, spiritual assessment, and then be able to help her understand the options of what she's going to face depending upon which procedure she chooses. And then we provide resources and refer her to a place where she can get support. So it's a holistic process, but the reaching her first is critical. If a woman, abortion-minded woman, chooses to go to Planned Parenthood or another abortion facility, the chance that she's going to choose life is less than 10%. If she comes to us, it's over 65%. And so that's why it's so essential that we reach her first.
And so give us the profile of the abortion-minded woman. Is this, I mean, I'm not that there's a singular profile, but you know what I'm saying? Is it more likely to be, a matter of convenience, not resources? It's not frightening about, do I have the resources to have a child and raise a child, but other circumstances that need to be addressed, psychological, as you say, support network related, the father, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, people listening, imagine, who do you think of when you think abortion-minded woman? You know, what are her characteristics? Well, some of the statistics are 75% qualify as poor or low income,
Mm-hmm.
60% are in their 20s, 12% in their teens. 60% have already given birth at least once. Maybe woman not married has 2 kids at home already, gets pregnant unexpectedly, and she's like, I can't afford to feed another mouth.
Right.
And then 54%, more than half, identify as Christian. And then here's the thing that's really stands out. African American and Hispanic women account for 60% of the U.S. abortions, but only represent 21% of our population. So vast preponderance of the abortions are happening in African American and Hispanic communities. That's why, as I mentioned, we're trying to go into those communities in Chicago where they don't have good resources to help. And so we come in and then we help, say, come to us for your free pregnancy consultation. We'll provide free services, help to provide the support network through the community, through the churches in that community, so that she doesn't have to walk alone.
And so it's this idea in many cases where we'll help you live your values, right?
Yes.
This is where you want to be if we could take away some of the fear factor.
Yes.
And that's what you do.
Yeah, very much so. And she's really in an emotional crisis. Like I tell some people, they say, what do you do? I say, well, I manage a crisis decision-making organization,
Mm-hmm.
because she's at a point of crisis. And so what we do is help to de-escalate her crisis. I mean, she's really conflicted. I mean, there's 3 moral tensions that abortion-minded women are dealing with. One is her own life versus the baby's life, right? Because if I have this baby, then essentially I'm dying to myself. And so am I going to end my life, or am I going to end the life of the baby? So she's in that tension point. The other is bad life versus no life. So she feels she can't provide a good life for this baby because she doesn't have the resources. So maybe ending the life of the baby would be, in her mind, a kinder thing to do, even though we know that's not rational. That's how she's feeling. And then shame versus guilt. Shame over from community, from church, if she has the baby, pregnant unexpectedly, guilt for ending the life of a baby. So these 3 moral tensions are really at the nexus point that we go in and try to help, de-escalate the crisis by dealing with those 3 tension points and helping her to then equipping her to make an informed choice.
One of the criticisms the pro-life organizations get, even though the ubiquity of the Pregnancy Resource Center sort of speaks to that, but I want you to address it, is you're all concerned about the woman having the baby, but then what about that woman in need that has these fear factors, helping to raise the child and getting her access to the things she needs on a sustained basis past giving birth, right? So
critical. And that's where we say we make a difference 2 lives at a time. So we care, yes, for the unborn baby, but we also care for the mother. And so we provide this network of support. Before we open up any clinic in any location, we have to go in and identify what are the resources in that community that we can help refer her to and partner with so that she has somebody that's walking with her after she gives birth. One of the things we do is we have what we call baby banks. So church in a community, let's think in Chicago, and they have diapers, wipes, material goods, everything a new mom would need for the baby. And she chooses Life. We give her for 4 years. After that, she can go and get the resources she needs for free to be able to have the material goods and support. I mean, listen, diapers aren't cheap.
Oh, my accountant told me with the years that I had both of my boys back to back, I spent $10,000 on diapers.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's why you got to potty train them right away, Dan. Parenting tip for you, just in case you need it.
Yeah.
But that's a big commitment, and that's huge.
Yeah. So we create those networks. That's why we're called the Caring Network. It's a network of support to be able to walk with her so that you don't have to go through this crisis alone. We're with you. We're going to stand with you. And so it starts with reaching her first.
So you need help.
Yes.
You have a goal to raise $20,000 to support the mission.
Yep.
Where are you right now in your campaign, and how can people help?
Yeah, so we are making progress thanks to many people that are listening, but we still need more help. We're about, a third of the way there. And so one of the ways they can help is a gift of $150 would help reach 5 women that are considering an abortion, and they can give that today. Or even a gift of $4,000 would cover the cost of certifying and training in ultrasound tech. So ultrasound tech and RDMS needs training, and that helps because the ultrasound is a critical piece of being able to help this abortion-minded woman see the image of her baby. And I believe God's wired women with a maternal connection that happens when she sees that. There's a maternal instinct that takes over. And so that's why it's so critical to do the ultrasound. So $4,000 will help with that. But whatever you can help with, we would love it. We're just, we need the support to be able to scale and to serve more women, save more lives, and take market share from Planned Parenthood and shut them down.
560theanswer.com/caring. That's 560theanswer.com/caring. You can make a donation there or call 855-84-WOMEN. That's 855-84-WOMEN.
The other question, too, you mentioned 106 pregnancy resource centers around the state. So we get this in politics all the time, like organizations that are similarly situated doing similar work. Are you guys working together to make sure that scarce resources are being used as efficiently as possible? And when you talk about the network in areas where you don't have a clinic, are you working with other pregnancy resource centers to be part of that network?
Yeah, so one of our strategic priorities is go where the need is greatest. So low-income inner-city Chicago communities, there's a great need, and there's no other effective pregnancy resource centers in those communities doing the work. So we're not going to go in where, if somebody's there already doing effective work, we're going to say, hey, we're not going to come in.
Right.
We want to make sure we're going to the right places. And so the places where the need is greatest, especially in the city of Chicago, is where we're focused. And then, even in places where, like Aurora, it's like, the number of abortions in a community like Aurora, there's already another group there doing a great job. Waterleaf is doing a great job.
Yeah, Waterleaf.
But we come in and we say, you know what, we're not here to step on your toes. We're here to end abortion, and so let's try to work together, and they understand that.
Again, 560theanswer.com/caring or 855-84-WOMEN, 855-84-WOMEN. To make a donation. $150 can help the Caring Network reach 5 women who are considering abortion. As Kurt said, a gift of $4,000 covers the cost of certifying and training in ultrasound tech. The goal that we have is to help the Caring Network reach her first, as the campaign theme. The goal is to raise $20,000 to support the mission of the Caring Network that Kurt Wiggins has nicely articulated. Kurt Wiggins, president of the Caring Network. Kurt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So how's the separation going? Are you guys able to work things out?
No. I think we're headed for divorce.
That sucks. Gonna be an expensive legal battle?
Well, no, that's one thing we agree on, actually. Arbitration.
Arbitration? Like mediation?
Sort of, but better. We'll have a firm decision.
Oh, that's easier. Who's your arbitrator?
Bert Hochberg.
That attorney at Schiller, DeCanto, and Fleck?
Yeah, senior partner. Comes highly recommended.
Are you facing divorce or a family law issue? Burton S. Hochberg offers arbitration services, a dispute resolution process that will save you time, money, and the complexity of litigation. Let Burton hear and resolve your claims with choices that best suit you and yours. To discuss, call Burt directly, or even better, have your attorney call Burt at 773-255-6150. That's 773-255-6150. Again, 773-255-6150. No one knows arbitration like Burt Hochberg. Why go through a difficult divorce? Call Burt at Schiller, Ducanto, and Fleck, Chicago's preeminent family law firm since 1981.
Guys, if you're often feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out your numbers by contacting my friends at Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you get results back right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. They're health providers specializing in treating low T with personalized testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and this is critically important, their treatment plans are optimized for each patient. There aren't just basic standard dosage treatments. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medication. So get back to your best this year. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. And tell them Dan Proft sent you when you do. That's lowtcenter.com. Lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Did you know that AM 560 Radio has a full-service digital marketing division called Salem Surround? If you're a business decision maker, listen up. AM 560 listeners are everywhere your potential audience is. So are our incredible targeting capabilities. We localize digital marketing and put it within reach of every business, small and large, in Chicagoland and beyond. Salem Surround offers AI-powered marketing solutions that reach your ideal audience. Whether or not you tap into the proven live, local, and emotional connection that AM 560 Radio brings, Salem Surround offers a total marketing solution to our partners. All-in-one digital solutions that provide targeted local digital and social media ads, Google AdWords management, website services, video strategy, search optimization, and even a management dashboard to offer you total campaign updates and transparency. Your Salem Surround representative is located right here in Chicago. Experience the Salem Surround digital revolution today. Call 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951.
Gain insight into building strong marriages and raising godly children with Focus on the Family with Jim Daly each weekday at 11:30 a.m. on our sister station, AM 1160. Hope for your life.
AM 560. The Answer.
Okay, again, that number is 855-84-WOMEN, WMOMEN, like common spelling. Do you know what a woman is? WOMEN, 855-84-WOMEN, or go to 560theanswer.com/caring, asking for a one-time gift of $150. That will help reach 5 women who are considering abortion, or you could donate $4,000, or any amount would be much appreciated. But with $4,000, they could train an ultrasound technician to show the woman this is what your baby looks like. And as he said, that's a very successful process.
Well, we have time.
Yeah, let's squeeze it in.
Yeah, okay. I've been trying to get to this because there was a rumor going around.
That you're pregnant with triplets?
No, there was a rumor going around that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, who's destroyed all these great franchises with all of her woke silliness. Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
I know. I'm familiar with her work.
I mean, I guess
and her path of destruction.
It's George Lucas's fault. I mean, somehow she got installed. Anyway, South Park did a great send-up of Kathleen Kennedy, and it's just a nice contrast with sort of what we saw in terms of immaturity and distastefulness from the left yesterday during Trump's speech, before, during, and after. Kathleen Kennedy, the South Park boys take her on.
Is there a problem, people? We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie. Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her lame and gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again.
Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now, ruining the new Bambi movie.
Any diverse woman in it, make it lame.
Bambi's a baby deer.
Maybe you put a chicken in, make her gay.
We've sent her away to have lunch at
Cartman is just one of the great characters that's ever been come up with, even for a cartoon.
That is great. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for those who attended last night. It's now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
A setback for President Trump at the Supreme Court. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News rejecting his attempt to freeze foreign aid as he works to slash the U.S. Agency for International Development's budget.
In a 5-4 ruling, Supreme Court justices told a U.S. district judge to clarify his earlier order that required the Trump administration to release nearly $2 billion in aid for work that had already been done. Several nonprofit groups sued, saying that the administration violated federal law and was taking over the power Congress has to control spending. The Supreme Court did not say when the money has to be released.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. An ISIS terrorist expected in court in Virginia today to face charges in the killing of 13 U.S. troops during the withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. Deputy Middle East Envoy Morgan Ortegas just told Fox.
Listen, this is a great day for America, and especially for these 13 family members.
President Trump broke the news of the capture during last night's address to Congress.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster.
Also last night, President Trump read a letter from Ukraine's leader days after his confrontation with Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House in talks to end the war with Russia.
Nobody wants